Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 138 people in 11 different countries that purchased this set of healings in advance on my website, which is jwhealing.com. Website, that's my email address for those who need to know it. Ah, thank you for my early confirmation. You're a rock star. Woohoo! All right. So this is a set of 2 healings. Today is the first healing in the set of 2, and the next one will be in 3 days on Sunday. So Thursday and Sunday is the August twin set of 2025. And the theme is one we've been doing all this month, which is emotions and sexuality, and also your senses, like taste, enjoyment of music, things like that. But I think since all of that is second chakra stuff, second chakra right here, about an inch or inch and a half below the belly button, since emotion, sexuality, and the senses are all assisted by your second chakra, I don't emphasize senses too much. I think they'll be helped as we help everything else, the emotions and sexuality. So I'm going to go and all these 5 healings this month, the 3 in the triplet set that I already did, and then these 2 in the twin set that I'll be doing. They're all in the same playlist, which is linked in the info section of this live stream. If you want to surf around, and they all within a day have video chapters with timestamps, so you can click on one chapter and then they all pop up and you can see what was done. And they also all have within a day a healing outline in the comment section without timestamps, just so you can see, you can sort of at a glance into it, okay, which technique helped me the most and I should repeat it, or which technique, I didn't get the healing, so which technique or techniques do I want to do on my own now? So anyway, that's sort of the idea. So then today, what are we going to do? We're going to do 5 main things, and they're very cool. So one of the things is more meridian geeky stuff. Traditional Chinese medicine meridians are pathways of energy in your physical body, but they also help your spirit and your mind, and they're super cool. And we are going to do the spleen meridian a bunch today, and especially like the middle section of it. So I will show just to get a sense of it. So this is the spleen meridian. That video, see the purple meridian there and the line going up it? It's just purple on the diagram, so you can tell it apart. But anyway, so all that, all the way up, and it goes up to the side of the chest and below the armpit, and that's where it ends, right there. So the specific parts, I mean, I'll heal and unblock and repair the whole spleen meridian, but especially these points that I'm showing on this far side of the screen right there, spleen 6 through 13. So spleen 6 is above the ankle, and then, it goes to the side of the leg and the thigh, and right around, like the crease where you're, if you were to, like say you're seated, and your thigh and your leg, right in there, spleen 12 and 13. That the numbering on this is so tiny. But anyway, it's right in there. You know, around the crease of your leg and your hip. But all those points are important, and I felt like if we can unblock and get good flow in those, especially, just that's what we're supposed to. Angels were pretty specific. So I do know also too, fun fact, I think it was spleen 9. I was reading about the different points and how each one helps, and they all help in like a million ways. Well, some of these points are like real heavy hitters as far as like the 20 things that they help you with. But if I recall right, spleen 9, that one by the knee, is the one just below the knee is good for reducing edema, like swelling. You know, if you have you know, swelling in your ankles, spleen 9 just below the knee. So that's one of a trillion reasons why we're going to work these points, but not the only reason. So that's that. So that's sort of you know, geeky traditional Chinese medicine coolness is so that was spleen, the whole spleen meridian, and in particular spleen 6 through spleen 13 will do extra. So I'm looking forward to that. Woohoo! Part of why I was late is I had to get that graphic right with the, I'll go back to it so you can see what I mean. This graphic on the side. There we go. So on the far side of the screen right there, that graphic, the graphic on the far side of the screen, the numbering of it, like I found it online, but then the numbering of it was all blurry and too small. So then I had to like edit the image and crop it and make those little numbers and stuff. When you're wondering like, what the hell is she doing that she's starting this live stream so late? That's one of the many things that I do. That's like fun fact. Yay. Okay. So so that's the first one of the 5 main things that we'll be doing is that spleen meridian, including and especially spleen 6 to 13, 6 through 13. So then so this one is easy to explain. We already did it. We've done it many times over the years, but it's really good to do. And I think we did it in the last healing, which would be the 3rd healing in the triplet set earlier this month. So as I often say, like more than half, I mean, yeah, I don't know what percentage it is, maybe 80% of the people that I heal get all the healings. Most of them have subscriptions and that's how they get all the healings, but some of them buy manually, you know, because you have more flexibility about when you're purchasing them and whatever. But so a lot of, so, you know, the majority of people that I'm healing today got the proactive clearing work, you know, a week ago or whenever it was. But even those people, I saw that more could be done, you know, because if you do it more over time, it's, you know, if there's still more to do, then you just kind of live a little and do it again. So that's basically what we're doing. Plus, there are plenty of people that just, you know, are doing this healing that didn't do that healing. And so, you know, they would need it especially much. So that should be good. And it's super easy. It's kind of cool. You just use your future intuition and angel help. And you clear the inner blocks you already have that will especially be in your way in the next 6 months, so that it's like a little more smooth sailing for you than it would otherwise. So it's a very handy technique. And you can do it at any time of the year. It's just sometimes you might have this intuition like, yeah, you know, good now. And I do. So we'll do that. One of the 5 main things we're doing. So then okay, so that little abbreviation is chakras at the end there, CHK apostrophe S. So we're going to be clearing family control baggage and family control beings from your upper, that impact your upper chakras and that impact your lower chakras. I noticed when I was reading somebody's survey, and thank you always for your surveys. And for those that get confused when I say that, it's a post-healing survey from the most recent survey from the most recent healing that we've done. So when I say thank you for your surveys, I'm specifically meaning from the last that we did, the triplet set, the 3rd healing, because that's the most recent batch of surveys I had to review before this healing, right? So anyway, thank you for your surveys, your survey feedback. But as I was reading somebody's feedback, which actually had to do with their sexuality stuff, and they were giving some details about, you know, not relevant right now, but they were giving me good details. And so I was being able to read their energy in a specific issue that they had been talking about in the survey. And I noticed that in the past, when we clear family control beings, you know, just invasive beings that tend to impact several or all family members, I generally pay attention to the upper chakras a lot with that. And I have not noticed so much that there is specific baggage and specific invasive beings that would target the lower chakras exclusively. And so they might still be around if you're just thinking of, because I mean, upper chakras are, of course, super important. You want to do this first, I would suppose, because, you know, you come into your body when you wake up every day from the top down. And so 7, 6, 5, 4, you know, if you get those to be free of, you know, family influence and control and all the invasive beings that your family members have, just get all that out, then you can at least, you know, you're clear-headed, clear-sighted, have some motivation, you know. But lower chakras 3, 2, and 1, and lower does not mean worse or anything. I'm just literally meaning spatially beneath the upper chakras. Some people do mean, oh, they're you know, they're inferior and we're spiritual, so we don't care about them. But that's not at all what I'm saying. For me, that's not true at all. But anyway, so lower chakras 3, 2, and 1. You know, 3rd chakra taking action, and starting and finishing projects, quality of sleep, huge. 2nd chakra is, you know, our theme this month, emotions, sexuality, sensuality. 1st chakra, courage, safety, abundance. So super important stuff. And so I noticed that that she had some family control baggage and beings that were popping her out when she was trying to be sexual with herself, you know. Masturbate. Sorry if you have young children, but, you know, maybe they don't know the word yet or something. Anyway, nothing wrong with it if it's age appropriate. So anyway, so we're gonna and by family control baggage, I just mean baggage that you have that maybe your family members have as well. And so the problem with that is then they know darn well what you're stuck on in terms of that particular baggage, because they're stuck on it too, which is very possible because, you know, you all had the same shitty day back when you were kids or something, or, you know, your parent and all the kids had that same shitty day. You know, everyone was dumping on each other and driving each other nuts, and so everyone has matching baggage from then. You know, so, you know, family events, whatever, you know, so it's possible to have, we'll call it family control baggage, just baggage that, you know, screws your boundaries with your family, basically, because most likely because they have it too, or they just know it so well that they just keep courting it. So, and the invasive beings, you know, like I said, that just happen to favor your family members and you. And so therefore, you know, it's kind of like you're all glued together with the baggage and the invasive beings. So I'm gonna clear that stuff. But so we'll do for upper chakras and then we'll do for lower chakras. So we'll make sure. In the past, I haven't really specified, oh, we're doing it only for upper chakras, but because of that person's survey and what I was reading, I think that by just doing it in general, I ended up clearing mostly upper chakra stuff. Be sure to do chakra stuff too, so that you can unglue from your family for those really important chakras. 3, 2, and 1. So if that's too confusing, don't worry about it. It's much easier to do than it is to explain, and it helps. All right, so that's another thing that we will be doing today. One of the 5 main things that we'll be doing today. Okay, so this takes a little bit of explaining, no surprise, which is why I'm talking about it now. So enjoyment is important in life. You know, if you're not enjoying your life, that can become a serious problem. And so if I had to pick just a few chakras of your major chakras that are most related to enjoyment, I would say 4th chakra, in the center of your chest, motivation, enthusiasm, gratitude, positive outlook. 2nd chakra, below your belly button, emotions, sexuality. And also Kundalini chakra is not one of the major 7 chakras, but it's right below the 1st chakra and works closely with that chakra just because they're like literally touching almost. So Kundalini chakra is down here, right below the 1st chakra. And I have a whole playlist on Kundalini videos that I've made in the past, which I will link later in the comment section. So enjoyment balance, meaning if, say, your 4th is too blocked, so you don't have really great self-esteem, you don't have great motivation, your 2nd chakra is pretty blocked, so a lot of times you get locked up in either sadness or anger or whatever. But say your Kundalini chakra is the only one you can kind of rev and get to do its thing. And so Kundalini is, when it's really giant, it's the stereotype of Kundalini is that it's a sexual energy. But I think that's a misleading stereotype, and that it's only when it's like really revved, like medium high or high, maybe, yeah, medium high to high Kundalini like generation, then yes, absolutely. It can enhance your sexual enjoyment and or just make you horny. You know, if you're not, you know, like active with yourself or active with someone else at that time, then it could just make you completely distracted with horniness if you're generating too much Kundalini. So being able to regulate your Kundalini is important. And also to know that when the Kundalini is medium or medium low, it can be fun. It can be just like pep in your step, kind of motivation, like, you know, enjoying songs and being like, yeah, you know, let's do this, you know, rah. You know, it can be a peppiness that's really useful, really, really useful, and probably healthy for your body. I mean, I'm not going to do medical tests on it, but it's a good thing. And knowing how to turn it off completely for sleep is really important too. And a lot of people just do that instinctively. They just turn it off for sleep. They turn it off when they have to go back to sleep. But many people aren't good at that subconsciously. So knowing about it consciously, being able to be aware of it, turn it up, down, turn it off, all that good stuff is useful, right? So we will do a little bit of that today. And like I said, I'll put that Kundalini playlist in the comment section. So there are plenty of videos that I made in the past about Kundalini chakra and repairing it, unblocking it, and kind of revving it up and down and all that stuff. It's even relevant for kids too, because like with a kid, like a prepubescent kid, then, you know, sexuality isn't a big thing necessarily. I guess it could be in some cases, but usually it's just like it can make them kind of wild, you know, if their Kundalini is like on full blast. So it won't be like they're really horny. They'll just be like, wah, you know, like climbing the walls kind of a thing. So sometimes if you think of like kids at recess just going totally berserk, their Kundalini is completely revved. So, you know, like later when they go back to class right after recess, if their Kundalini is still full revved, then, you know, there's no way they're going to focus, you know. And so sometimes the kids, they keep misbehaving throughout the day. They can't turn their Kundalini back down. And so they're bouncing off the walls. You know, so it is relevant for kids. Like, for example, with kids, you want to help them to turn it off for bedtime, you know, even for getting ready for bed, so that they can kind of hone in on, you know, simple bedtime tasks and then actually fall asleep. So it's a useful chakra, and it has to do with enjoyment, you know, because unless it's driving you crazy, it is enjoyable, you know, like even just the pep in your step levels or the sexual levels, you know, when you're, you know, trying to be sexual. It's a good thing, right? But if you're too blocked with the fourth, too blocked with the second, all you have is that, the Kundalini enjoyment, then you might overdo your Kundalini enjoyment and might be like, you know, say maybe overly craving your sexuality stuff because everything else is so blocked. You try to rev your Kundalini to unblock everything and it's not really working. And, you know, so I think if you have your, you know, your self-esteem and joy, you know, that level of pleasure, and then you have this level of pleasure and this level of pleasure, then you can kind of, you know, surf it and subconsciously turn one up or turn one down, or, you know, and it's like you have, and plus your grounding. Because if you don't have your grounding, especially with Kundalini, if your Kundalini is too high and you're not very grounded, it's kind of like an ejector seat and you're just like out. So, out of your body. So, anyway, we'll work that. We'll work fourth, second, Kundalini, and grounding, you know, just to help unblock and get everything, you know, working. Not perfectly so, but, you know, I think it'll be a good exercise to, you know, help with that. That is our hat over there. I can't. Or flip there. Oh, she got down. She's very shy, so. Where'd she go? She went so fast. Oh, well. I tried. Maybe if I put my camera differently next time she makes the rounds, we'll hear. Okay, so that's that. Enjoyment, balance, and grounding. So we'll work that. What else? Oh, yeah. Okay, so discipline. I've been talking about discipline on and off throughout the last few healings. I don't know if I started it last month, maybe I did, but it's been a few times recently. Discipline is, I'm a big fan of discipline now, never used to be, really. If you know, you had maybe a strict, kind of like, not strict in a good way though, like strict in a like kind of child abusey kind of way, upbringing, then discipline may not evoke positive imagery for you. Or, you know, if you've had those past lives and they're still impacting you, then maybe that's why, you know, you think of discipline, you think of, ooh, that doesn't sound fun. So, but the way I'm using discipline is to mean like that you can commit to a long range goal that involves pushing yourself through something that initially does not feel fun because it's for a good cause. It's like, you know, like for example, working out. You know, if I'm on the treadmill, I have a standing desk with a treadmill, which I love because I don't have to set aside time to exercise. I'll just do it while I'm doing something else on my laptop or something. I'll just walk on the treadmill at the same time. But the first, I don't know how long it is. I want to say it's like the first mile or mile and a half. I often have a lot of resistance. Like, you know, the stress of the activity is like, you know, it kind of gets to me and I'm like, I'm tired. I don't really want to do this, you know, but then eventually if I keep pushing past that, keep going past that, and I'm not even going that fast. I mean, I'm going like 3 miles an hour. But if I keep going past that, then the endorphins kick in of the, you know, physical activity and it feels very pleasurable to keep going after that. And I can go for, you know, a pretty long time. I mean, you know, I can go for like 3 miles at a time is pretty easy for me now. And then if I have already done it earlier, like say I do, you know, I could do 3.5 miles at one time. And if I did 1.5 miles already in a different time of the day, then it's 5 miles. At 5 miles, I always feel like, oh, I'm a champion of the universe. In an ideal world, I would walk 5 miles every day. That'd be so cool. So hopefully, maybe someday goal. But the point is not how much I'm doing it and, you know, for me to brag. Although I am really proud of it because I didn't used to be able to do that much. But the point is to say that, you know, even now there's plenty of that initial time, you know, if I'm setting out to do it, there'll be plenty of time where I'm like, I don't want to do this. This is too tiring. You know, all these thoughts and feelings of like, okay, this is unpleasant, you know, I have those feelings. But, you know, if you can push yourself past those feelings, you know, it's not like I'm, you know, I'm not injuring myself. It's just, it doesn't feel good, you know, it's just not pleasurable at all, you know, and it's kind of unpleasurable a little bit, you know, but if I know, if I can just push myself through that to keep going, then the endorphins kick in and then I'm good, right? So the idea is, can you push yourself? Do you have enough discipline to push yourself through the resistance to continue with the positive action? Not only that time, but over time, multiple times, because most goals that are worth having requires over and over and over action, whether it's muscle building, cardio work, learning a language, you know, studying for a big exam, you know, whatever, right? So we're going to clear baggage that gets in the way of that. And it can be that you have resistance. We do work non-resistance a lot. So that can kind of take some of the strength out of the feeling of like, oh, I don't want to do this, you know? So it's not like, I don't want to do this. It's more like, I really don't want to, you know? So we can downsize the resistance. But I think also there will be baggage specific to whatever goal you're trying to accomplish, like baggage around physical exercise, or baggage around budgeting, or baggage around, you know, doing yard work or doing your laundry or whatever it is, you know. And so we're going to just pick the baggage that's in the way, you know, because it's like if the baggage is too much that gets triggered when you're thinking of or starting to do a positive action and you have the resistance, it's like it could be insurmountable. And you're like, yeah, not today. No way. So we're going to clear baggage. We're going to just work non-resistance in general, but then also project-specific baggage. And we can do that, and you can do that. You know, say you don't even know what your 4 biggest major projects are. You just put out in front of you the baggage in the way of you doing your 4 biggest projects. You don't have to know what they are consciously in order to do that, right? And then you just work on clearing that baggage, you know, angel help and yada, yada. We'll do it. It's easy. So that's the idea. But I think the more you do it in life, I think it's like a thing that you can develop. And you can develop positive associations with discipline, which I definitely never had before. For me, like when I thought of discipline, I thought of either being physically punished or by someone else, or like being forced to do some goal that somebody else has for you that's not your goal. And so it's just like oppression, basically. But, you know, once you grow up, you get to set your own goals. And so then discipline, you know, towards reaching your own goals is just one of the most key abilities you could possibly have, I think. So anyway, we'll work that today again. All right. So those are the 5 things. So I'll do a nutshell version. Okay. So today's 5 things, I will try to say it as quickly as possible. First, we'll work this, well, not, and I don't know the order we'll do it in, but one thing we'll do is the spleen meridian, the whole thing, the whole meridian, and especially spleen points 6 through 13. Another thing we'll do is working discipline, like your own personal motivation and discipline to get through resistance, escort yourself through the resistance into accomplishing your positive actions that you need to do. Proactive clearing for the next 6 months. Enjoyment balance with grounding. So enjoyment balance meaning working 4th chakra, 2nd chakra, and Kundalini chakra. And so that you have all those 3 chakras are working properly, so that you have a blend and a balanced blend of all that, all those levels of enjoyment, plus your grounding, which I think will help you to make more mindful decisions and just feel better. And then clearing family control baggage and beings that not only impact the upper chakras, but also impact the lower chakras, therefore helping emotions, sexuality, courage, abundance, all sorts of good things, actions, good stuff, sleep. So that's it. Those are the 5 things to do today. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick look at chat comments. If you have any sort of light and fluffy comments like hello, where are you viewing from? What's your weather like? You could chat those now if you want. Optional. I am in Olympia, Washington, which is in the Pacific Northwest part of the United States. And today I think it's going to get into the low 80s, which is a little warm for us. And I think in the next, like through next Wednesday or something, we're going to have a lot of fairly hot days. But in the evening, it always cools back down again. In the early morning, too. It'll work out. But anyway, let's see. And it is sunny. Someone says, hello, can see and hear you from DC, Washington, DC, the capital of the United States. Always need good vibes there. Thanks for saying hello. Someone says, yay, hi from super sunny Portland, Oregon. How about that? Can't say that all year long, nor can you say that here in Olympia. I'm not far from Portland. I'm like, with traffic, I guess 2 hours. So hello in Portland, Oregon. Someone says, we can see and hear you in Chicago, 73 and sunny. That sounds nice. I could garden in that weather. If I had time. Which I sometimes do. Someone says, hello from Ottawa, Canada. What is the effect of lab music at a concert? Maybe you mean loud music at a concert on energy? See, this is what I have to do when I read surveys. I have to be like, okay, lab, maybe that means loud. There we go. Does loud music blast us out of our bodies? It can. It can more for some people than others. Like, because you may have, oh, that was a little boo-boo kitty sighting right there. You may have past life negative associations with loud sounds more than somebody else. I mean, it's going to screw everybody's hearing, their eardrums eventually, if the sound is too loud, you know, so people should wear earplugs to a concert so that they don't lose their hearing over time. But as far as popping you out of your body, that would more depend on your baggage that gets triggered by loud sounds. Anyway, someone says, but it could. I kept looking at the stars in the sky and then I felt rebalanced. Oh, that's cool. Someone says, appreciate the diagram. It looks great and is really clear. Oh, good. Yeah. Good. Someone says, hey, Janet, I can see and hear you from hot Las Vegas, 108 degrees Fahrenheit. Partly cloudy. So 108 for the countries that are not so backwards and still using Fahrenheit. 108 is like maybe 48, maybe 44 degrees, 43 degrees or so centigrade. So quite hot. Glad I remembered the live. Brought me back to my body legs. Thank you. Oh, good. Hope you stay cool today. Someone says, aha, my Kundalini chakra is getting cleared up from these healings, but that explains I am getting wired up in the evening. Yeah, I gotta turn that down. Turn it back down. That's the thing. Kundalini chakra is probably the chakra that most you do best. It needs the most range of adjustment, you know, because like if you're working, maybe you want a little pep, and then maybe you're dancing to some kind of sexy song, so you want a little more. And then, you know, if you're having, what did we call it, spicy time with yourself or with a partner, you want even more, but then you want to turn it down later because you're just relaxing and chilling out and trying to read a book maybe, and then you want to sleep, so you want it off, you know, and then maybe if you wake up in the middle of the night, maybe it pops up, and so you got to turn it back off to go back to sleep. So it is a chakra that ideally you could get very good at revving up, down, moderating, you know, having it the way you want. Whereas like some other chakras, you don't really have to keep adjusting it so much, you know, necessarily, you know, you get it at one level of generation of energy, and that's fine all the time, you know, for all the other major chakras, really. Maybe second and fourth, the other enjoyment chakras, maybe there are times when you rev your fourth more or your second more, you know, and then less. But you always want good flow in all of them, 4, 2, and Kundalini. Someone says, hi, Janet, my left arm feels really weak from shoulder to hand. Well, we're about to do hand healings, and we always do shoulder and arm, so you can work on that. I've experienced this same thing last set too. Well, you can't blame it on me. I haven't started the healing yet. So that's not on me, girl. Do I have armor around my arm? Yeah, sure. That's a little more in depth than I want to look at right now. You could maybe repost it later if you haven't cleared it during the healing. But yeah, I know that like your trapezius muscles, like how tense they are, can affect your fingers. Like I think these two fingers in particular, and like all the nerves and stuff. It's pretty cool how it's all related. Um, oh, you'd say, oh, oops, haha. Yeah, that's not me, girl. The healing did not start yet. I've just been flapping my gums so far. All right. Well, cool. All right. So then we're going to do soon the 3 minutes of quiet before the healing starts. During the 3 minutes of quiet, I'll be finishing my prep without talking. And I'll say hi telepathically, non-verbally to the 138 people that I'll be healing. And, you know, just so on a spirit level, they're super aware the healing's about to start. And then I'll start the healing like that, you know, and I won't talk for like the first minute or so as I'm healing. But then after that, I'll say what I'm doing as I do it. And so you could use the, you know, the healing part of the live stream as a self-healing walkthrough if you want. So people that have purchased the healing that I'm healing, you don't have to do anything in particular while you're getting the healing, but you could heal yourself at the same time. It won't. Some people really enjoy that, healing themselves while I'm healing them, and they feel like their abilities are more because they're, you know, they're getting assistance with the grounding and all that unblocking, and so it's like kind of like this momentum already, and so they just kind of surf it. But you don't have to. You could take a nap or work or drive your car or hang out with your kids, do whatever you need to do. All right, enough talking. I talk so much. Oh my god. Okay, thanks for waiting. So you have a big hand chakra in the palm of each hand, and you also have a chakra in each fingertip. And like all chakras, they generate energy. So if you set those particular chakras to be a metallic gold color, like this glitter, then that's the color that they're going to generate, the color of energy, the vibration of energy they're going to generate. And so gold, metallic gold, is a useful color, kind of an ideal color for healing, for repairing, unblocking, releasing, yada, yada. So not all your chakras, you wouldn't want all your chakras at that vibration, that'd be too high. Rainbow colored vibrations are really good for all your other chakras, but gold for the ones that you're using to generate gold light to heal yourself is awesome. So you can make a copy out in front of you, really of your everything if you want at first. All your 17 auras, you have 17 auras, they're all around you. So you can just imagine all 17, a copy out in front of you. And you don't have to see energy to do any of this. You just use your intention or your thought if you don't yet see energy. So just comb through all your auras, make a copy out in front of you of whatever you want to heal in your space, and use gold light to comb through it and heal it. Both your groundings, you have 2 groundings that connect you to the core of the earth. One for your astral body and one for your spirit body. One for your astral body and one for your physical body. So your astral body has its own aura, make the grounding as wide as your astral body aura. Your physical body has its own aura, make your grounding as wide as your physical body. Right? So 2 groundings, both the same color, red or orange or yellow. Right? And then you just make a copy of those 2 big groundings out in front of you and comb through them with gold light. So this includes grounding. Right? So comb through your grounding. You want to melt away energy blocks in your grounding with gold light from your hand. So the blocks, what do they look like if you can't yet see energy? A lot of times they look like big flat black rocks. You have invasive beings in your grounding, they could look like, like something like a black rock with like a weird moving shadowy thing, near it, or something, or like cloudy fogginess. A lot of times those are beings. You just say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that are in my grounding? And you do have angels, even if you didn't know you had them. You say angels, da, 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 they're listening. So it's easy. Say it. You don't have to say it out loud though. I'm only saying it out loud because I'm live streaming. Say it with your mind. Oh, anyway, just keep. You can sweep together all the blocks, like if you're sweeping the floor, and then you have a dustpan, you get a pile first, and then you sweep it in the dustpan, right? So just sweep together with your hands all the energy blocks and your grounding together in a pile, and then focus the gold light on all those energy blocks until they melt away. Okay, so sweep together, and if you don't see, that's fine. Just do it with your thought or your intention, right? Sweep together all the energy blocks in your grounding. Use so much gold light, permeate that pile with gold light so they all just melt away. And if anything in your grounding is not melting away, just wrap it up in gold light and give it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with it? Okay. And an indie grounding is where you check the outer surface of your groundings all the way down, and you use gold light and melt away any attachments from your grounding to other people's groundings, because grounding is a very solo thing. Like, it works best when it's not hooked into somebody else's grounding, and their grounding works best when it's not hooked into yours. Even if we're talking about like your 2-year-old toddler or your 6-month-old baby, they are going to be much more stable and happy if they're not plugged into a big person's grounding. So, and likewise with you. So they have their own grounding, you have your own grounding, right? So just melt away any attachments that are going into your grounding. And also, if you have any hard objects that got thrown at you and might be halfway sticking out of your grounding, just melt them all away with gold light. Sometimes people talk about codependence, right? If someone's too reliant on you or you're too reliant on them, part of that is cording. So if you have your own grounding, your grounding isn't hooked into someone else, it allows you to be less codependent. It allows you to feel relief and get strength from the earth without having somebody else in the way. Even if that person is in many ways helpful in your life, they're not helpful plugged into your grounding. And it's not helpful for you to plug into their grounding either. So just wash everybody out of your grounding. Even if they're like really fabulous people, they're not fabulously helpful in your grounding. Right? Just, you can still have a friendship or whatever kind of relationship you have with people, but don't get yourself tied up in knots because you don't have good boundaries. Just wash everybody out with gold light. Gold light doesn't harm anybody. You know, if anything, they'll probably have a better day because gold is very refreshing, you know, and they'll get their energy back. All right, so then hand chakras and neck, shoulders, and arms. So you can make a copy out in front of you of your neck, shoulders, and arms. And a lot of times, I would say probably all the time, when I'm talking about a body part like the hands or the shoulders, or even a body meridian like the spleen meridian, I'm also referring to the auras around that body part. And so you want to heal within, say, the neck, shoulders, and arms inside there, but also, you know, the surface of your body. Like there's a red vitality that ideally would be throughout your body and not like all black and crusty in some parts. So, you know, you're healing the surface of your body also, but then also the auras around it, because the auras are supposed to protect you. If they're flowing, they can protect you. If they're ripped up or they have hard objects stuck in them, they're not going to protect you. And, you know, it can leave you vulnerable to injury and just being, you know, harmed with having energy damage, right? So neck, shoulders, and arms, just have a copy out in front of you of your neck, shoulders, and arms. And use a lot of gold light, comb outward in your auras around that area. And again, you can spin your copy around if you need to see different, see or imagine different parts of it. And just use so much gold light that you kind of burn out. And you can imagine like gold fire if you want, gold water, gold glitter. Different people have different preferences, but or gold sandstorm. That could be like you know, spinning bits of gold light that are like, you know, bits of sand. So that can be a little more assertive sometimes. It just depends on, you know, what you prefer. But above your shoulders and above your head too, you can unblock there. And your major chakras, they each, you know, the 7 chakras along your spine, they each generate a layer of your aura. But then also the upper chakras, 4, 5, 6, and 7, a little bit extra of their energy, you know, doesn't just go out to that aura layer, but it goes down your shoulders and your arms, down your neck, shoulders, and arms, and out your hands. So you just want that to unblock those channels in your neck, shoulders, and arms. Not to mention, you know, all your traditional Chinese medicine meridians, a bunch of them begin or end in like this area of your chest and armpits and stuff, or like, you know, go around this area of your neck. So there's a lot of flow that ideally should be happening. So if you just use gold light, you're unblocking and repairing it all. You don't have to, you know, memorize every last little chakra and meridian. Just think of like, you know, washing everybody out and repairing and unblocking. All right, good enough. We already did grounding pretty thoroughly, so I think we're going to go on to aura repair. So you have 17 auras. You have your astral body aura, your physical body aura, and then 15 auras called Wei Chi auras. Wei Chi is strong boundaries energy. So those are your 17 auras: astral body aura, physical body aura, and then 15 Wei Chi auras, right? So, but bottom line, it's just all your auras around you, right? So you have a copy of all your auras around you, and just use a lot of gold light and comb through them, get a sense of if there are any rips. If there are any rips, then it's time for aura repair. Okay, so you could do one area at a time, one damaged area at a time, like say above your head is a popular spot to get bashed up, or behind your head is a popular spot to get bashed up, or like in front of your tummy. But we're just going to repair all the rips at the same time right now. So you make a copy, a composite copy rip. So you're creating an image of a rip, and you say with your intention, okay, this rip represents all the rips that I currently have in all my auras. And then as you repair this rip, you're repairing all those rips, right? So have your composite copy rip, and you use sticky gold wax to clean out the rip first. So sticky gold wax is gold light from your hands that with your intention, it's going to harden and stick to whatever's not you. So you fill up this rip with sticky gold wax so it sticks to everything that's not you, meaning hard objects, invasive people, invasive beings. Just get all that as a lump and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax. Get all the junk out as a big lump. Angels, here you go. So then, and you could say too, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this repair? In case there are a few left over. And just get the gold light as deep as you can in there so that the rips start to repair, grow back, the auras grow back. Maybe you missed a couple hard objects. Angels, here you go. Okay, so that probably repaired most of the rips, but let's do it one more time quickly for any leftover rips. So make a composite copy, image of a composite copy rip, and just say, okay, this represents the leftover rips. And then sticky gold wax, get rid of the junk. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, get rid of all that junk. Angels, here you go. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this repair? Okay, and you can have leftover aura hardness from, having things ripped up and beaten. So the hardness can be several patches somewhere internally in your auras, or it can be right out at the outer surface. But either way, you get rid of it the same way, because any aura hardness creates a weakness. So then your aura is more likely to tear if someone throws energy again. So you don't want hardness left over, right? So just pile up copies of all your aura hardness out in front of you and just use so much gold light. You could say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this junk, can you please recycle them? And then melt cords from people going into your aura hardness. Melt everybody out of your aura hardness. Deep breath. One more time with the aura hardness. Any leftover aura hardness, put it out in front of you. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? Yeah, and then just keep melting it with gold light. Melt cords from people. Melt all that aura hardness. All right, you can redo your gold buffer zones. I have a video on that if you don't know gold buffer zones. But for now, you could just say, angels, can you help me redo my gold buffers? One for your astral body aura, one for your physical. Gold mesh spheres are in your Wei Qi auras. Your Wei Qi auras are big gold force fields. They don't have layers like astral body and physical body aura. They're just big gold force fields. But where does that gold energy come from? It comes from gold mesh spheres. Each Wei Qi aura has 3 gold mesh spheres, an inner, middle, and an outermost one, and they just keep generating gold light if they're not too ripped up and screwed up. So you can just imagine all your Wei Qi auras all at once. So there are 15 outer ones, 15 middle ones, 15 innermost ones, and you're like in the middle there. So just use lots of gold light, and anywhere you feel like there are gaps, you know, where they're ripped or there's just junk on them, just use lots of gold light and melt away any junk so that the gold spheres are continuous. They generate gold light, which fills up the Wei Qi aura, and also that gold light gets sent inward towards one of your major meridians, whichever one that Wei Qi aura is supposed to support. You don't have to know, you know, which is which. Just prepare all your spheres. All right, good enough. So that's sort of a deluxe version of aura repair. Aura repair deluxe. So including gold mesh spheres. All right. Okay, so creative rings are up here. 1, 2, 3. They come and go with you as a spirit. They're a part of your astral body energy system. And they generate gold light, which forms a nice protective force field right here, which is good. And also that gold light gets sent downward to all your major chakras along your spine, which is very helpful. So you wanted them to be unblocked so that your 7th chakra energy can shoot upward to the 7th layer, you know, shoot upward through the creative rings. And then when you come in the morning, as soon as you get in a little bit, then like your creative rings are up there. You know, as soon as you get into like maybe 2 chakras, then your creative rings are up there. So the rest of you has to come in through the creative. So you don't want a lot of junk in the middle of those creative rings or around them, right? You just want 3 gold rings. And you don't want them to have flaps sticking out. You don't want them to be overwhelmed, right? How do they get overwhelmed? They get overwhelmed if they're smashed into pieces, but also if there are like pairs of cords from invasive beings or invasive people, then this is what they look like when they're overwhelmed. They have flaps that pop out. So this is like a top-down view of one of your creative rings in an irritated state where the flaps are open. So as you use gold light and you melt the cords, then the flaps fall shut. And so then it's a nice smooth round opening. So it's much harder for people to cord you. And so your energy can go through, it can do its job, generate gold light. It's all good, right? So creative rings, make a copy out in front of you, use a lot of gold light. Melt away cords from people going into your creative rings. Invasive beings can definitely cord your creative rings as well. But you can just have the beings recycled rather than just keep melting their cords because, you know, they have a lot of time on their hands to screw with you. So just have them recycled. Have your angels recycled. So you can say, angels, can you please recycle any invasive beings screwing with my creative rings? Keep melting cords. You may have hard objects stuck in them. So just pop out the hard objects and let the hard objects explode. Unblock above your creative rings all the way up to, you know, the top of your auras, you know, near the top of your auras and even above the top of your auras. Just unblock the whole route. So like say her creative rings are like right on here. So then here's the top of all her auras. So then here's above the top of all her auras. So what would be up there if someone tried to dump a bunch of energy in your space, but your auras were too strong and it didn't get in, then it could be stacked up here. So just unblock that whole route from like your 7th chakra in the top of your head all the way up through your creative rings, through the top of your auras, and also above your. Lots of gold. Melt all. Deep breath. It's always good to take deep breaths, by the way. It's just I say it sometimes because people are like, please remind me to take a deep breath. So I say it sometimes. All right, good enough. Okay, so we're going to repair and unblock all chakras at the same time. All meaning astral body chakras, physical body chakras, major chakras, minor chakras, every damn one you have. We'll do them all at once. And then after that, we'll just do ones that are still kind of screwed up, just those. So this is the basic chakra shape for any chakra. Obviously, size may vary. Like say the one in your hand isn't long like this, you know, the round opening is in the either side, but it's you know, not at all wide. It's very narrow, right? Or the ones in your fingertips are very tiny. The one in the top of your head's very powerful, but fairly tiny, you know. But these ones, like maybe the round opening is more near your skin, you know, so it's more long. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's repair them all at once. So imagine an image of a chakra and say with your intention, okay, this chakra represents all my major, all chakras that I have, right? And then just use gold light and repair and unblock it. As you're repairing and unblocking your composite copy, you're repairing and unblocking all your chakras. And just keep combing out all the junk that's not you. You could burn it up with gold light. Comb out the junk that's not you. That's healthy and gentle to get rid of right now. And then burn it up with gold light. Your intention, I would say always, ideally, I would suggest your intention is to do what is healthy and gentle to do right now. So you can even lift out the baggage that you want to clear out of your chakras and then just use gold light to melt it away, lift it out. You could blow it up too, blow it up if you're healing yourself. Lift out the baggage, melt it away with gold light, lift it out. You can also hand it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with this? I think in general, they prefer, you know, if you can melt it fully, that's kind of a little more self-assertive than handing it to your angels, but either way. Chakras, round openings do have flaps, just like the creative rings. So you want the flaps to be shut, not like this. This is when they're stuck out, they're in an irritated state. So this round opening could have flaps sticking out, or it could just be smooth round opening because the flaps are shut. Right? So if it's smooth, the flaps are shut, it's hard for people to cord. So your energy can come out and go in, but it's harder for people to cord, right? Lots of gold light, repair, melt away cords. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings screwing with any of my chakras? So keep breathing. Remember, we're doing like even the acupuncture chakras with this. You know, all these acupuncture points, those are what I would call minor chakras. Minor just because they're not the major 7. So what you're doing has a big effect on a lot of things. So just, you know, which is fine, but just healthy and gentle. Just use that intention. Lots of gold light. You can even do like a tricolor earth energy soak if you want with your, you know, with this composite copy. So bring up red earth energy, soak everything in red earth energy. You can do orange and yellow earth energy too, but if you're going to just leave it up, I would say red is, you could, yeah, whatever. So bring up red earth energy, soak it on red earth energy, bring up orange earth energy from the core of the earth, soak it all in orange earth energy, bring that down, bring up yellow earth energy from the core of the earth, soak all the chakras temporarily in yellow earth energy. And then gold light, lots and lots. Couple deep breaths. Breathe into your whole body. Wiggle your toes. Touch your fingers. Okay, so that was unblocking and repairing all chakras at the same time. So now we will just do the ones that are still the worst. Not to say they're bad, but they're in the worst shape. So they're still damaged or blocked. So just the worst chakras, make a composite copy to represent all of them and do the same process. Lots of gold light. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings screwing with these chakras? Lift out the junk, melt it away with gold light. Lift out the junk, melt it away with gold light. Melt cords from people. We talked about discipline, right? The ability to kind of push yourself beyond your resistance into, continuing with your, starting with or continuing your positive behavior, right? So lift out any baggage from your chakras in the way of discipline. Lift out that baggage, melt it away. Lift out the baggage in the way of discipline, melt it away. All right, good enough. Good job, good job. Woohoo! Yay, you're a rock star. Woohoo! All right. So back behind here, we're going to be doing good karma windows, which are in your astral body aura right back here. They're triple frame windows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, one in each aura layer of your astral body aura. They are like entryways in a good way, but they could be entryways in a bad way if they're damaged or being corded or whatever. So you just want to repair and unblock them so that they're just entryways for your good new energy, like positive change energy to come in of yours, or like a very slight amount of energy that you want to come in from like uplifting energy from the moon and the stars and that kind of thing. But if they're damaged, then you can get invasive people or invasive beings through there, and it can, contribute to making it harder for you to have proper chakra functions. So we'll do that first. So good karma windows, and the triple frame window that each one of those windows is, this is a drawing, a simple drawing of a triple frame window. That's what I mean by that, 3 concentric squares. But anyway, so just imagine like all those windows and just comb through them with gold light. You can bring up red earth energy, soak them all in red earth energy if you want. Gold light. You say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings screwing with my good karma windows? And lift out any hard objects, melt them away. Lift out the hard objects, melt them away. Lift out the hard objects, melt them away. Do some more repair. So often, each good karma window, it's like an entryway in a good way, but potentially a bad way, into that layer of your astral body aura. So think of chakra function. So if you're having inner voice issues, you're hearing songs you want to stop hearing, and you've already repaired, say, the front and your 5th chakra, think of your 5th good karma window, right? Because that would be an entryway into your 5th layer of your astral body aura, which would then affect your astral body 5th, which would then affect your physical body 5th and your physical body 5th layer. So, think if you're having anxiety issues, think of your first good karma window, right? Because that's an entryway into your 1st layer astral body, and therefore your 1st chakra astral body, and therefore 1st chakra physical body, and therefore 1st chakra first layer, physical body aura. You know what I mean? So think about, you know, I mean, you can just repair them all and unblock them all. But if you've already done that and you still have this weird, stubborn issue with a certain chakra, check that particular good karma window because you may have missed some damage. And you just use so much gold light that you're burning out anything that's there, any invasive beings, invasive people, and you just repair it all. You're melting away hard objects. Deep breath. So base of skull points is a really good companion with this because if foreign energy comes through, then it can at best compress these meridians and chakras here, but at worst it can damage them and beat them up a lot. So base of skull points, I mean the acupuncture points that are shown in this diagram, specifically those 2 horizontal rows, one at the level of the top of your earlobe, one at the level of your bottom of your earlobe. That's what I call base of skull points, those 2 rows. So, and that midline meridian there, that's governing vessel meridian, GV meridian, and that technically has 3 base of skull points, right? 15 and GV 15 and 16 are very close together there. And then GV 17 is above that. So those are the 3 base of skull points for the GV meridian, 15, 16, and 7. So you can, with all these meridians and points, like I said before, you know, the point and the meridian is important, but also the auras around it, right? So you can comb outward and melt away all the blocks. Comb through that area of your skull, grab out anything that's healthy and gentle to get rid of that's not you. Comb through your auras, do the same thing, gather it all up. Say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And then lots of gold light. Melt away. Words from people. And melt the block. Deep breath, breathe into your spine, breathe into your hips, your toes, your fingers. So the midline one, that's GV, governing vessel meridian, traditional Chinese medicine meridians, and then the yellow lines there, that's the urinary bladder meridian, UB, urinary bladder meridian, which is super cool. Goes down your back in a very cool way. Around your lower back and your butt and down your legs. So it's a cool. Starts in the corner of your eye. So yeah, pretty hip. I have a 12 meridian playlist. I'll link that below later. I didn't make these videos, but I put them in a playlist in order of their flow. These are all like rivers, and one river flows into the next, and then they like interconnect too sometimes. Cool, but you don't have to know all of that. You can know like even just the teeniest amount and really do cool things with meridian healing. Especially if you keep that intention healthy and gentle, because you know, if we're just unblocking these points, that affects each of these meridians and all the points on the meridian, and then it like these meridians can influence other meridians, you know, and then, you know, like say the urinary bladder meridian, it flows into a different meridian, which flows into a different meridian. So there's a big ripple effect. But if you do healthy and gentle, it's fine. And then one out from the yellow lines, that's like a blue-greenish kind of line. That's gallbladder meridian, which is a lot of cool zigzags on the side of your head. And then it goes down the side of your body, all the way down your legs. And that helps with self-assertiveness, which is super cool. So again, comb through the back of your head, all the way out through your auras, gather up all the junk that's good to get rid of right now. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? Then melt cords from people out of all these blocks and melt the blocks. All right, good enough. I don't think we're going to do etc. for once. Believe it or not. So no etc. Because I am so eager to move on to our 5 main things. So we just did, I call the 5 essentials: grounding, aura repair, creative ring repair, chakra repair, good karma window stuff back here, base of skull points. Those are the 5 essentials. So like if you feel really screwed up, you can focus on those to get unscrewed up. Okay, so the angels say to do this first. All right, so the next 6 months, in general, a lot can happen in 6 months, or not much can happen, you know, in your personal life, in the life of a country, in the life of geopolitically speaking, whatever. And whatever events happen can trigger stuff. And also what you're trying to accomplish can trigger stuff within you. So we're just going to proactively clear whatever's healthy and gentle to clear that would otherwise be in your way at some point in the next 6 months. So that then, since we cleared it, it won't be in your way. Make things a little freaking easier to handle and process and, you know, just help you to be at your best. Okay, so let's do it. So you can make a big old blanket out in front of you or skip the blanket, just make piles, but put out in front of you copies of any shit that's going to get in your way that's within you, and it's going to get in your way in the next 6 months. So inner baggage, stuff other people have dumped in your space, whatever. Any shit that's going to be in your way in the next 6 months or would somehow, you know, make your star shine less brightly in the next 6 months. Just any junk in the way in the next 6 months, and just say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? And deep breath while your angels potentially edit your pile. And then second question, angels, can you please recycle any invasive beings that are hooked into this junk? Deep breath. So then you can do the rest, which is just getting people out of the piles. So bring up red earth energy, soak the piles, use gold light from your hands, and melt away cords from people going into the piles. Melt away everybody's energy that's in the pile, including your own. A lot of people could be courting, but just subconsciously, they have no idea they're doing it. So don't get into a whole thing about who's courting my pile. Just melt everybody away with gold light. And then once everybody's out, reasonably speaking, you could blow up the piles if you want, or just melt them completely with gold light. Okay, let's do that again. So put out in front of you a big old blanket if you want, and then piles on top of that of any junk that would get triggered within the next 6 months. Any inner baggage of yours, any dumped baggage, any burdens you're carrying that would get in your way in the next 6 months. Angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Deep breath. And then second question, angels, can you please recycle any invasive beings that are hooked into this stuff? Deep breath. So then soak the pile in red earth energy just to start the releasing out of it. Use gold light from your hands and melt away any cords from other people or yourself that are going into the piles, and melt away everybody's energy out of the piles. And then you can blow up the piles or just keep melting them fully with gold light until they're all gone. And then if there's any leftovers that didn't clear, just wrap it up in lots of gold light. Give it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with this? So easy peasy. You did it. You're a rock star. And you can say too, you know, affirmations are nice because it's like you're reminding yourself of something. It can reset your intention. So you can say, you know, I'm something like, you don't have to use these exact words, but something like, you know, I'm going to let my angels help and guide me and protect me in the next 6 months and beyond. I'm going to let my angels help, guide, and protect me in the next 6 months and beyond. All righty. Great job. Great job. You are such a rock star. Woohoo. Go you. Okay, on to more fun. Let's see. All right. So, as I already explained before the healing started, discipline has to do with and also just taking consistent positive action, you know, has to do with overcoming your resistance. It doesn't necessarily disappear. You just learn not to let it stop you from taking that positive action. So you may have a ton of resistance. You may really, really, really not want to do something, but the ability to force yourself to do it because you know it's healthy and smart to do at this time is an invaluable skill. So we're going to help you build that skill by helping to reduce your resistance and also reduce other baggage that gets in the way, which can be project specific. So you could have baggage specific to doing physical exercise or weight training and building muscles, or baggage specific to studying, or baggage specific to, you know, organizing and cleaning your house, or baggage specific to doing your taxes, whatever it is, right? So like I said, discipline is getting through all that and being able to do the positive action anyway, right? But you don't have to torture yourself, you know? If you clear the resistance, enough of the resistance, you clear enough of the other baggage too, you're not torturing yourself. It's just kind of difficult until it's not, and you're satisfied and you're doing it and you feel like, oh, this is kind of cool. I'm doing it. I'm really doing it. So it's before you get to that point where you're like, oh, I'm glad I'm doing it. You know, it's like there could be some terrain there, some rough terrain. And so you want to be able to get through that and keep going, keep doing that positive action, right? So let's do it. All right. So make a big old blanket out in front of you if you want, or just skip the blanket part and put out on the blanket baggage, any copies of any baggage you have, inner baggage that causes you to be very resistant. Like, I don't want to, oh my gosh, I just want to have fun. This is so not fun. You know, all that inner baggage, all that inner resistance, and then also project specific baggage that you have that's blocking you from doing projects that are truly meaningful to you, which could include doing taxes or cleaning your house, or it could be, you know, working out, or, you know, applying for jobs, you know, whatever you need to do. So any project specific baggage that is coming up in your life that's really getting in your way, just put it out in front of you, right? And so you have your resistance baggage and then your project specific baggage. And just say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Deep breath while your angels edit the piles for you. And second question, angels, can you please recycle any invasive beings that might be hooked into these piles? Deep breath while your angels recycle for you. So then you may just have some people hooked into your baggage, maybe accidentally, just subconsciously, but that would make it harder for you to do a really thorough clearing. So just use gold light and melt away cords from other people, melt everybody out of your piles. You could bring up red earth energy, soak the piles, which would increase the energy draining out of the piles. And just keep using gold light until you melt the piles fully. Or, you know, at this point, since most people are out of the piles, you could blow up the piles too, which is so just fully dissolve all this baggage so it's gone, right? If there's any leftover baggage, just wrap it up in gold light, give it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with this? All right, good job. We're going to do it one more time just to be thorough and disciplined. Right? So big gold blanket out in front of you. Put under it copies of anything you have within you that makes you resistant. So it could be dumped energy from other people. It could be your own baggage, but just anything that makes you go, oh, screw it. I can't. I know all this stuff is positive and good for me to do today, but there's no way in hell I'm doing it. You know, sometimes it's just not right for you to do it that day, but a lot of times it would be perfect for you to do it that day, and your resistance is like, no, right? So any baggage that causes you to be in resistance, just put it out in front of you, and any project-specific baggage that's in your way. So baggage in the way of doing a healthy hobby, or baggage in the way of, you know, doing self-care, or, you know, whatever, studying, right? And so I say, angels, can you check my piles? See if it's healthy and gentle to clear all this right now. And angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? Deep breath. And then soak the piles in red earth energy. Use cold light. Melt cords from other people. Wash everybody out of these piles, including yourself. Cold light. And then you can blow up the piles if you want, or just keep melting them fully with gold light. If you're healing someone else, do not blow up their stuff. That's too bossy. Use cold light. Melting away all this baggage. And then if there's any left over, just wrap it up in lots of gold light. Give it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with this? All right. So that was clearing. So then, so that was clearing, right? So now what we're going to do is flower healing. Because flower healing is nourishing, right? So you're clearing and nourishing. It's like sort of balanced, right? So let's do flower healing. So flower healing is where you make energy for yourself and you tune it just right for what you need. You give it to yourself after your angels check it, right? So use universal healing energy. And I like using my hands, but it's not necessary. Just make energy healing flowers out in front of you out of universal healing energy. And they can be gold, light, or rainbow colors, or both. And just set it with your intention to a vibration that is best for you right now, to help your discipline, to help you get through your resistance and do positive action that's healthy for you on a consistent basis, right? So just make all those energy healing flowers, tune it to what you need, and say, angels, can you double check my flowers? Breath, and then give them to yourself. Let them go wherever they need to go. Okay, so you can do that again. Make a lot of energy healing flowers for yourself. If you don't like it, flowers as a form, you know, you make them into Lamborghini cars, or, you know, gift boxes, or, you know, pretty blankets or stuffed animals, whatever. But anyway, just make energy healing flowers for yourself. Set it to the vibration that most nourishes you, helps you to be non-resistant, helps you to get through the baggage, get through the resistance, and take your positive action consistently. Right? Tune it to that vibration. Say, angels, can you double check my flowers? Deep breath, give them to yourself. Let them go wherever they need to go. All right, good job. You're amazing. Woohoo! Let's do butterflies to celebrate that. Hopefully. Come on, butterflies. There we go. All right. Woo! Yay. You're amazing. Alrighty. Sorry, I can't find my butterflies to turn them off. Don't worry, I won't leave them on for the whole live stream or anything. There we go. Okay, found them. Okay. All right, I'll change of pace there with the backdrop. Just a momentary palette cleanser until we move on to what we're doing next, which is spleen meridian, especially spleen meridian points 6 through 13. So let's go to, okay. So this is the spleen meridian. It starts in the big toe. As you can see, it goes in the inner foot, up through the ankle, the leg, inner leg, thigh, that awesome crease area right there, up tummy meridian too, goes through the sides of the chest, near the armpit, ends there. It is paired with the stomach meridian. So we do the stomach meridian a lot. I mean, really, the spleen meridian and the stomach meridian, they're both tummy meridians, you know? So the spleen meridian, that's the purple line. Oops, sorry. And the stomach meridian, that's the green line, right? Going through the stomach. Dark green line there, going up and down. So it goes, you know, stomach starts in the upper eye, below the eye right there, right? And then it goes up the side of the face. And then it goes down the throat. And then over the chest area, under the nipples, through the tummy area, right? And then in that crease area, and then the thighs, all the way down to the toes. Right, so this is what I'm talking about when I say one river flows into the next, flows into the next. Spleen meridian, the energy goes through your spleen meridian, goes through your stomach meridian to your spleen meridian. So here is the spleen meridian. So that dark green one that we just did was the stomach meridian. And then it goes from there to the spleen meridian. And then it goes back up your body. So that's how, you know, like that's partly how one work on just one meridian affects many meridians. But anyway, so let's do it. I could talk forever, as you know. It's not really a good thing. Okay, so doing, right? So the spleen meridian, I just showed it to you before. It's that purple line right there, right? That starts in the big toe and goes up the body. And then this is on the far side of the screen right there, spleen 6 through 13. You know, that's the part we're going to do extra, but right now we could do the whole thing, you know, from the I'll have it playing while we do it. So from the spleen meridian starting in the toe, big toe. Way up. So, and it's on both sides of your legs, both big toes. So the thing is, you know, when you're thinking of the whole route, sometimes that's a little distracting. Although I do have, you know, the middle part of the route on the extreme end there, so you can see like how it goes up the leg and goes through that sort of the leg hip crease right there. I'm sure there's a better word for it than that. That's all I got right now. But you can also heal your spleen meridian or any meridian as a river, especially if you're getting like too hung up on, you know, where does it go next? I'm so confused, you know, which toe? You know. So you just imagine one big river that represents the whole spleen meridian, and look at the start of the river, you know, that would be the first point, and look at the end of the river, and just unblock all the points in the flow of the river. You want the river to have really good flow. Red is the color energetically of the life force. That's ideal for all the meridians. So use gold light. You can see, you know, maybe some places it's red, some places there's like a big black log jam. So just use so much gold light that gets resolved. You don't want any leaks. Sometimes there are places where maybe you see it spurting out wildly. That's not supposed to happen with meridians. So just use gold light. Maybe there's some hard objects stuck in there that were thrown in there. So just melt the hard objects, repair the meridian. So it should be a red flowing river within a red flowing tube, right? And the tube is the meridian itself. And the river is your body's life force and your life force that are flowing through this meridian. And you could even see all the chakras in the river if you really wanted to do it in that much detail, but kind of the point of the river is to not have that much detail sometimes. So it's up to you, you know, what floats your boat, but you could just lift out from the river any junk that's healthy and gentle to get rid of and melt it away. Lift out the junk from the river, melt it away. Lift out the junk from the spleen meridian river, melt it all. Angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my spleen meridian, can you please recycle them? And then, you know, maybe just take a break for you know, half a minute or so, and just maybe stretch or breathe or have your healthy beverage. Because, you know, like I said, it's these points, they all do a million different things, help you in a lot of different ways, and one meridian affects a different one. So just chilling out for a second is good. That's why sometimes you can pair, you know, this type of energy work with meditation or with journaling or with stretching. Or with watching K-dramas on Netflix. Or whatever. But then specifically spleen 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, as shown in on the extreme end of the screen there, that extra diagram that I spent time on. It's not that impressive what I did to it. It's just that I don't have a lot of experience with it and time was tight. So I'm very impressed with myself. But okay, so this section, spleen 6 through spleen 13, you want it to just be like nice red flowy tube. You don't want it to be like too tight, you know, and you want it to be all red flowy, right? No It's like a lot of people I'm looking at, it's like half hardened black, and then half of it is red flowy. So it'd be like the deeper half of it is like solid black, like dried glue or something, you know? So you want to just melt the dried glue part. To the extent it's healthy and gentle to do right now. That's why I just write H and G sometimes, because it's like writing that out and even saying it over and over is a bit repetitive. So, spleen 9, they're all really important. I think spleen 6 is especially important, and spleen 9 for clearing edema. But they're all really important. Like if you read a description, some of these points, it's like they go on and on. It helps this and this and this and this and this. It's really wild. That's why you can't really say, I mean, you can find, like what does the spleen meridian do? If you Google that, it'll say, oh, it helps you absorb nutrients from your food. It's part of your digestive process. But, all these points help a million different things. And so it's kind of, a massive oversimplification generally. I mean, I guess it's still useful information, but, each point has so many different benefits. But you can just think of it like a river, and, check the river. And if you feel like, whoa, the river like completely grinds to a halt right there, then just use a lot of gold light. You can say angels if there are any invasive beings right here. Can you recycle them? And then just, maybe there's some hard like bands constricting it. So just use a lot of gold light, melt that away. You could, like spleen 6 through 13, you can make a composite copy chakra representing spleen 6 through 13 and just use gold light. And, so like your composite copy chakra looks something like this shape, right? That's the basic chakra shape. And just say, okay, well, this represents my spleen 6 through 13. And of course, on both sides of your body, even though that diagram just shows one side of your body, right? So this, both branches of your spleen meridian, left and right, right? So spleen 6 through 13, you're repairing and unblocking them all at once. To the extent that's healthy and gentle, lift out the junk, melt it away, lift out the junk, melt it away. Repair and unblock. All right, so now you can check the whole river of your spleen meridian. You can even do a river that represents your stomach meridian and then your spleen meridian. I showed both of them before we did the doing part. So stomach meridian starts just below the eye, goes around the jaw, goes down under the nipples, through the stomach area, down the legs to your toe. So, you can have the river be, this could be a stomach spleen meridian river. So first the stomach meridian, then goes into the spleen meridian, and just have it be that river, the stomach spleen river, right? So that's, you should put that in the thing, right? So that was what we're doing now is, okay, so the stomach to spleen river unblocking. So we already started it though. Hopefully I could find the nice starting, get a chapter. But anyway, so you imagine a river that represents both those meridians. First, the early part of the river is the stomach meridian, and then the second half of the river is the spleen meridian. And just see, does this river flow as much as you need it to, as much as your body needs it to? If there's any weird, tornadoes on it, those are generally invasive beings. Say, angels, can you recycle all the invasive beings impacting these meridians? It's a gold light. You can bring up red earth energy, soak this 2 meridian river you got going on. out any baggage that's healthy and gentle to get rid of, melt it away. Out the baggage that's healthy and gentle to get rid of, melt. All right, good job. Woohoo. Pretty cool. I hope that was cool for you. Cool for me. Couple deep breaths, just chill out. You know, let that have its ripple effect with the other meridians. You know, maybe reground, keep breathing, wiggle your butt. All right, good job. You're a rock star. Okay, good job. That was a lot. Okay, so these next two things, I don't think they will take that long. They sound big, but they can be quick. So your enjoyment balance. I already explained it before the healing started. It's your ability to use all three of these chakras that we're talking about. Fourth chakra, which is motivation, enthusiasm, positivity, gratitude. Second chakra, which is emotions and sexuality and sensuality. And Kundalini chakra, which is below the first chakra, which in low amounts of energy would be, Kundalini energy would be just like pep and motivation, and it could be perceived as charisma as well. And in much larger quantities, if you rev it up, would be sexual energy for you. And when you turn it off, it would make it possible for you to sleep or go back to sleep. So we're just going to bounce around and do all of it. 4, 2, Kundalini, and grounding. So chakras 4, chakras 2, Kundalini, and grounding. Okay. So, and this is the chakra shape for all of those. 4, 2, and Kundalini. Red is a good color for the Kundalini chakra just because it's right below the first chakra, and red is a good color for the first chakra, so they both could be red. Second chakra, good color is orange for that, ideally. Fourth chakra, good color for that is green, right? Rainbow color, red, orange, yellow, green, right? Light blue, deep blue, purple. So anyway, just you can improv around. Think of your fourth chakra, center of chest. Unblock the front of it and the back of it. And of course, the auras, you know, each, like fourth chakra and second chakra, they each have their auras. So first layer, second layer, third layer, fourth layer, fifth, sixth, seventh, right? Of astral body and physical body. So comb through your fourth layer of your aura, especially right in front and right behind your chest. Fourth layers, chakras. You have 2 of each, by the way. Fourth chakra, physical body, fourth chakra, astral body, but you can heal them both at once. I just use so much gold light. I'm going to melt cords from other people. Because, you know, if you're concerned about codependency, like say if somebody is too dependent on you or you too dependent on them, it's very likely that there's cords into these chakras going between you guys. Whether you started or they started, you know, it kind of doesn't matter. You just melt the cords. And that helps your chakra to be able to do its job. And it helps them to hopefully work their chakras better. So fourth chakra, is it generating enough? Unblock enough, melt cords enough so that your fourth chakra can generate enough energy to have really strong flow through your fourth layer. And your fourth. Second chakra, below the belly button, emotion, sexuality. Same thing, unblock the chakra itself, unblock the second layers. So first layer, second layer. So right there, especially in front of the second chakra, but of course it goes all the way around. And then right in front of the second chakra, second layer in front of the second chakra. Unblock there especially. Your whole second layer. It's very common that, you know, if you have arguments with people, even if it's an argument from 10 years ago, you can have still deposits of energy, say, from that person that they dumped into your aura during that argument or after that argument. After that argument was allegedly over, but you guys were still slinging energy. So use gold light, melt out anything that's not you, that's healthy and gentle to get rid of throughout your second layer. So, and again, the layers go all the way around. So above your head, below your feet, all the way, front and back sides. So just melt everything out that's not you from your second layer. Otherwise, it's really hard for your second chakra to do its job and keep the energy flowing and generate more energy. If you got all this mud clogging everything up, right? So just melt all that out. Melt the cords from other people. You can say angels if there are any invasive beings messing with either my fourth chakra, my fourth layer, my second chakra, my second layer, or my kundalini chakra. Can you please recycle them? Your kundalini chakra, you have only one. So you have two fourth chakras, two second chakras, but the kundalini chakra is only a physical body chakra. So just FYI. So lots of gold light, red earth energy for your kundalini chakra. Unblock it, comb through it, get rid of the blocks, melt them away. Comb through your kundalini chakra, get rid of the blocks, melt them away. Maybe it's damaged. Use lots of gold light. Repair it. Just like your first chakra, round openings in the front, round openings in the back. It's about half the size, though, of your first chakra. But that's big enough. does its job. So if you find that you're horny to the point of distraction or horny to the point of, you know, whatever, or even just you're not horny, but other people around you seem to keep hitting on you in inappropriate situations, turn your kundalini down. Like you could be focused on work, but for some reason, maybe from anxiety or something subconscious, your kundalini's blasting. That can affect other people around you. And so if other people are maybe already tending towards being kind of, you know, overly sexual in their thoughts, it will steer them further in that direction. So you can turn your kundalini down, like say if you're in an office or something, trying to get work done, trying to have a business meeting with somebody, you want it to be strictly business. Turn the kundalini down. Meaning, like, okay, it rotates, right? All these chakras spin. And so it's like a blender speed. Turn it to low speed versus like high speed, right? So low speed, low rate of rotation. You could turn it off. Just remember to turn it back on later, because otherwise you'll be like, you know, 2 months from now, you'll be like, why is my life so flat? So just get everybody out of your kundalini chakra, ex-boyfriends, ex-partners, current partners, coworkers, neighbors, judgy people. Get everyone out of your Kundalini chakra. Get everyone out of your second chakra. Get everyone out of your fourth chakra. You know, maybe somebody thinks you're too fun. Maybe somebody thinks you're not fun enough. Get them out. Clear out your fourth layer, your second layer, your Kundalini chakra, fourth chakras, second chakras, your Kundalini singular. Doesn't mean you can't, you know, have sex with a partner and cord the heck out of them during sex. You know, it's just that then later, you know, the idea is those cords would be temporary, not like 24/7. If they're 24/7, then it tends to make you a lot less present in a way that, you know, impacts other areas of your life too much. But you can cord and uncord, right? But what we're doing is clearing everybody out so that you can repair properly. Because if everybody's in there or your partner's in there too much, when you're trying to repair, it blocks the repair process. And there's, there's some country music song. I don't even really know the song. I should look it up one day. But the lyrics are like, how can I miss you if you never go away? So sometimes a lack of boundaries between partners can, decrease the sexual attraction between the people or decrease just the good feelings between them, because you begin to feel like, Jesus Christ, you're like smushing my life, So don't let people smush you. You clear them out. You're a big boy, you're a big girl. You clear them out. That's on you. Just clear them out. Right? Of course, I'm not demonizing anybody, but it's okay. You can clear everybody out. You don't wait for people to stop getting in your space. That's not a thing. That's not going to happen. People have all sorts of subconscious motivations, positive and negative and whatever. And, it's not your problem to wait for everybody. Wash everybody out. So that you have access and ability in all these three areas, your fourth, your second, and your Kundalini chakra, so that you can generate different levels, different types of enjoyment. Grounding. Check your grounding out. You can recreate both your groundings, make them both the same color, red, or orange, or yellow, and clear everybody out of your ground. Same thing, maybe somebody's judging you, maybe they think you have too much free time or not enough fun or whatever, you're not serious enough. Get everybody out. It's not a public commentary zone. Wash everybody out of your grounding. So 4-2 Kundalini grounding. So this could come in handy when you're trying to get work done, when you're trying to have a good day, when you're trying to, have spicy time with yourself or with somebody else. Because even if you're about to have spicy time with somebody else, clear everybody out first, because you don't want your mother-in-law in the way or your sibling or somebody, right? So, if you're trying to sleep, clear everybody out. 4-2 Kundalini grounding. And as I often say, you don't want your energy only in those chakras. You want to be in all chakras, ideally, at the same time. And then a little extra in 6th and 7th, sort of as your command center. Because 6 is vision and non-judgment. 7th is empowerment, goals, identity. So it's really nice to kind of view from there. If you always viewed from your 4th, you'd be like very lovey-dovey and woo-woo. And you would probably have complete shit boundaries because you wouldn't be able to really see clearly. You're just feeling everything. And so you'd be pretty easily manipulated. So you can still have this chakra, have your warm and fuzzy, watch your kitten videos, but view, extra from here and here so that you have your focus and your your mindful decisions and actions and your own identity and empowerment. Alrighty, that's that. Good job, good job. All right, so here we are doing another thing about family boundaries. That's why you can't go by just the theme, you know, because some people love family boundaries healings, but then like they just wait and wait and wait till like the theme for the whole month is family boundaries. But you know, I pepper it in all sorts of times because it's pretty much always relevant. Okay, family. Okay, so first we're going to clear family control baggage and invasive beings from your upper that impact your upper chakras. Okay, so we're going to clear family control baggage and invasive beings from that impact your upper chakras. So it's easy. So just make a big gold blanket out in front of you, pile onto it any baggage that you might have, that you have in your space that makes it easy for your family to control you in your upper chakras, 7 through 4. You don't have to know what each chakra means, just do it with your intention, your thought, right? So all the baggage that makes it easy for your siblings or your family to sort of drive your car, you know, on those chakra levels, 7 through 4. Yeah, good enough. And you can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings plugged into this junk? And then angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? And just go ahead, red earth energy, soak it all in red earth energy from the core of the earth, use gold light, melt everybody out of the piles, melt everybody's cords going into the piles, and melt all this baggage. Melt everybody out and melt. It's like, you know, you might think, oh, my wife or my husband or my brother, they're so annoying. You know, my father's so annoying. But just clear your baggage and then you won't be anywhere near as annoyed by them. They won't have to change at all. It just won't bug you as much. You'll have better boundaries with it and you won't be, you know, internally harassing yourself about it. Okay. So invasive beings, we already did a little bit of that with that clearing, but we can do a little more. So you can imagine like a sort of like a police lineup, you know, where they line up all the suspects, you know, in a crime, and then the witness picks out the ones. So you can kind of just imagine in a big row, if you want, like all the invasive beings that impact you, that also impact your family members. So I would call them family control beings, right? Because they also mess with your sibling or your spouse or your kid or whatever, right? So line up all the family control beings that impact you, especially that impact your upper chakras. And say, angels, can you recycle as many of these invasive beings as possible? Because sometimes, you know, maybe some of your siblings are really still invested in the drama. And so those beings will stay, but, you know, you can just work your boundaries then. Okay. So one more time, big old blanket out in front of you, put onto it any inner baggage that makes it hard for you to have boundaries on upper chakra levels with your family members. Family control baggage, any baggage that makes you susceptible to family control in the upper chakras, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And then just say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Deep breath while your angels sort through it. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? Deep breath. So then go ahead, red earth energy, soak the pile in red earth energy from the core of the earth. Use gold light, melt all the cords from anybody going into this baggage. And melt the baggage. All gone. Or you can blow it up too. All right, if any is left over, wrap it up in gold light. Give it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with this? All right, so that was upper chakras. So now we will do lower chakras, which is even more relevant for the theme. So lower chakra is 3, 2, 1, not lower as in worse, just lower, spatially speaking. So third chakra, getting stuff done, quality of sleep, taking action, productivity, time management. Second chakra, sexuality and emotions, emotional wellness, all sorts of goodness. First chakra, abundance, courage, safety. So very important stuff. 3, 2, and 1, right? So make a big old blanket, put out in front of it any baggage that causes you to have less boundaries with your family members on those levels. Just say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? And then angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? All right, and then bring up red earth energy from the core of the earth, soak the piles, melt quartz, use gold light, surround the piles with gold light, melt away all the quartz going into the piles, right? And then fully blow up the piles or melt them away with gold light. Again, this is baggage that makes it hard for you to have boundaries in your lower chakras with your family members. If there's any left over, you can wrap it up in gold light, give it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with this? So more specifically, just the invasive beings, any that still exist that mess with your family members and also with you on lower chakra levels. And why do you care about if they mess with family members? It's just that you don't want to be glued together to other people with control energy. So this kind of stuff that, you know, a being that impacts you plus somebody in your life can kind of pit you guys against each other and give you guys boundary issues with each other in a especially inconvenient way. So you can just make like a suspect lineup. Imagine any invasive being that's messing with you or you and family members, you and loved ones, that impacts the lower chakras 3, 2, and 1. And say, angels, can you recycle as many of these invasive beings as possible? Deep breath while your angels do that. And then I lost my train of thought because cell phone made noise. Oh, lower chakras. We got rid of the beings just now. Just check again for more baggage. We probably did it thoroughly enough, but see. Put out in front of you any baggage that impacts your lower chakras that maybe is in common with your loved ones. They also have it, or they just court it all the time. So it gives you boundary issues with loved ones. Any lower chakra baggage, right? It gives you boundary issues with loved ones. And say, angels, is this healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? And then just use lots of gold light. And melt it away. Melt cords going into it from other people and melt the baggage. All right, good enough, good enough. All right, we've done the 5 major things that we were going to do. Woo-hoo. So in a minute, we're going to wrap up. All right. Okay, so we're going to wrap up. It'll be quick. So just imagine a copy of you out in front of you, everything. You're everything. So all your 17 auras, your physical body and your astral body are inside those auras, and then both your connections to the core of the earth. Nice wide connections, as wide as all your auras. And make those groundings come up high as your 3rd chakra. Your 3rd chakra is below your sternum. So home through everything, lots of gold light. Check out how present you are in your hips and your legs, your feet, shoulders, your arms. Use gold light. There is one of those short videos in my short video playlist that has grounding and also repairing energy leaks in the arms and shoulders and legs. Oh, nice. Real simple. It's a good combo. I could link that one below later in the comment section, but it is in the short video playlist, but I'll link it below later. Your spiritual path is just for you, right? And you can imagine it. It's like a road, and it's just for you. And so even if you have a really good friend, they have their own spiritual path, you have your own spiritual path, right? And so you can look at it and look at the road behind you, in front of you, look at you on the road. And are you looking forward? Are you moving forward? And 2, is the path repaired? Like there's a gold protective force field around the path. And does it have like big gaping holes in it? If so, just keep using gold light to repair that protective force field around your spiritual path. Sometimes when you're overwhelmed, you can have damage to some of your, 5 essentials, like grounding, chakra repair, aura repair, creative ring repair, blah, 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 or repair, or whatever. I forget which one it is now. But you can also have big holes in your spiritual path that allow, invasive energy to come through. So repair any holes that are in the gold force field around your spiritual path. Some people that have big mood shifts, they may chronically have rips in this protective force field. So it's easy for them to pick up, big invasive beings that then like make a tornado in their brain. So no brain tornadoes, right? You can say too, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings on my spiritual path? Maybe some causing brain tornadoes. Some recycled. There can be barriers on your spiritual path that shouldn't be there. And so it's like a big wall. And so you feel like there's nowhere to move forward because it's like there's a wall right in front of you. And some people just knock down the wall and keep going, right? They understand how to clear energy. And I think if you get these healings consistently, that kind of, if you're not good at it already, you become better at it. But some people aren't good at that yet. And so they'll just stop and feel completely and totally roadblocked, with just with a big barrier ahead of them on their path. So just imagine the barriers ahead of you on your path that aren't supposed to be there. It's not like, oh, the universe is teaching you something, you know. I mean, maybe the universe is just teaching you that you got to melt shit, you know. You got to clear shit. So just melt these unhealthy walls that are blocking your way forward on your path. And they could be there from past lives. They could be there from childhood. In this life, you don't have to hyperanalyze, you know, what is my core issue? No, just unblock your path so that you can move forward. I mean, not to say that therapy is useless. Therapy can be very valuable. But sometimes, you know, the intellectual understanding doesn't actually, it's not good enough anyway. So just unblock so that you can work that. You can start to take baby steps and get your forward momentum. Unblock your path. So we repaired it and now we're unblocking it. And sometimes you're carrying really heavy things along with you on your path unnecessarily. So it's like you're carrying this big sled of heavy rocks behind you, trying to drag it forward on your path. So don't do that. Just melt away any unhealthy burdens that you're carrying on your path, holding you back, making things harder than they need to be. Melt away all that. Some of it could be, you know, some shame somebody stuck you with. Some of it could be some fears, some grief that you haven't cleared yet. Just melt it all away with gold light. All right, good enough. All right, so as we wrap up, just ask your angels. Angels, can you help me wrap up this healing? Angels, can you help me with my emotions and my sexuality? All right, good job, good job. Woohoo! Healing. You're a rock star. I'm just taking notes. Back. Alrighty, so now we can take a break. So we'll take two quick breaks, one bathroom break if you need it, and then a stretch break where, you know, if you want, you can do some stretching. I'll do some stretching on camera, which looks very funny. Funny, strange, not funny, haha. Well, maybe funny, haha. Depends. But you could do some stretching too if you want, whatever's healthy for you and your body. And then I'll do at least a half-hour little chit chat afterwards. So if you have any follow-up questions about the theme, emotions, sexuality, or, you know, like other topics that were mentioned, like discipline, resistance, enjoyment, balance, stuff like that. You have a comment about how you're doing after the healing, stuff like that. If you're a newbie, you could say whatever you want. You know, you're welcome to. If you want me to check your grounding, you know, can you look at my grounding, see how my grounding looks? If you want me to do something like that, put your initials, first and last name initials. That helps me to read. Always first and last names help me to read. But, you know, if you want to protect your privacy, just use first and last initials instead for online stuff. Okay, so break time. I will get rid of the camera while I'm away so you don't stare at my empty chair. And I'll be right back. Okay, hi, I'm back. So if you wanted to do some stretching, feel free. Do whatever stretches are gentle enough for you. Hey, I'm back. Hello. So I may do a quick little bit of self-assessment validation if somebody has an observation about their energy. They want me to double check it. But as time allows with that, because sometimes I can get really involved. All right. And if I don't get to your question, you could repost it under the video later, and I would get to it as I have time and post it. All righty. Let's see. What did I miss? Not read. This is hello, sunny in Orange County. It's super hot today, Orange County, California. Well, hope you're staying cool. Hello to you. Someone says, thank you, Janet. Feel almost non-verbal and have a mild headache on left side. Think it's hard objects in back right. I'm on a financial improvement journey and I'm improving, but not at a fast rate. Seems like a discipline issue and some big blocks I'm avoiding. Did I read that right? You know, in your survey, you could mention that again, but mention like, what the hell do you mean by financial improvement journey? Like what? I mean, I understand, okay, you're working in abundance, I guess, but are you working like less spending or you just don't know how to improve your finances? Or is it, I mean, is there a more specific problem you're just not stating? Like, do you buy too much late at night online? You know? Like, what's going on? The mild headache on the left side, yeah, meridian stuff. Some of your, if you were to just go through those meridians, you could find it's like just 2 of them are like sliced through in the back there. But you don't have to know which ones they are. I mean, you could geek out and figure out which ones they are, but you don't have to. You can just imagine the ones that are sliced through and, get the invasive beings out of the way, have them recycled and then, heal it up. You could work on that and see if you finish it by the end and post again about it if you want. But yes, it is hard objects, but also invasive beings and aura damage, Uichi auras. But yeah, you kind of implied that. But yeah, financial improving journey, blah blah blah, discipline, and blah 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 blah. I'm not quite sure because if you can be more specific, it would probably help with that question. So you could repost later or just mention it in your survey. Someone says thank you. Mention it in your survey, not that I would get back to you because you put something in your survey, but because I could look at it and if it could be a part of the following healing, then, it might be. It says, thank you. I enjoyed clearing 6 months ahead. Yes, the proactive clearing for 6 months. I'm glad. And the discipline topic. Oh, good. I kept thinking of work projects, though, versus my personal ones. If I were to guess, it's just stuff I'm avoiding and thinking of work as my go-to so I don't have to face whatever I'm avoiding. I think just melting baggage walls can help to focus on my enjoyment / new hobbies. Thank you. Okay, so it's a self-assessment. Yeah, I think it seems like there's like the personal stuff yeah, I mean, I do think there's some stuff that you're avoiding in your personal life that is causing you to avoid other things in your personal life that aren't such a big deal, that are more workable. But it's like as soon as you start thinking of personal issues, there's this risk that you're going to think of what you don't want to think of. So you're like, work. So yeah, I think that there is definitely stuff going on with that. What you could do though is you can clear without consciously knowing. I think that might help you get around it. So like, okay, big gold blanket out in front of you, way out in front of you, big gold privacy curtain in between you and the gold blanket, and just be like, okay, I'm going to lob on that gold blanket whatever in my personal life is spooking me out that I really don't want to know about. And just put it out there and say, angels, is it okay to clear all that right now? And then just blow it up. So like work on clearing it in that sort of a, protected way. So you're still allowing yourself to be like, I don't want to know, but you're just clearing the baggage. Because you can work something without knowing about it consciously. And it seems like you're willing to do it that way from what I could see. So you could try that. But yeah, you're right. There's something going on there. Good call. Someone says, thank you for the work and blessings you're sharing. Oh, you're welcome. Janet, what do you feel I need to work on in my energy field / consciousness? Forgive me if I'm not asking in the best format. Initials are KO. See, there you go. Thank you. Your format's fine. And you gave initials, so I got everything I need. If a specific focus is better, I've been focused on my stomach / intestine / digestive tract and mouth. Thank you for your support. Well, you're a newbie, so you get to ask anything at all. And you don't even have to give a self-assessment first. Newbie privilege. Because the people that are more veterans, I make them read themselves, even though they're like, I can't read. I'm like, shut up, read yourself first, and then tell me what you read to practice. Okay. But anyway, so if I look at you, look at what your angels are pointing out most. Oh, they just want me to see what I see. Okay, fine. So right now you're in 7 through 3, meaning, you know, that's my short jargon for that your astral body chakras 7, 6, 5, 1, 3 are within your physical body 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, which means you're not in second and first chakras at this time, not in physical body, second and first chakras. So the question is why? Is it because there's too much drama and compression in your third, and so you just don't have the oomph to get down into the second? Or is it actually a second chakra issue? So is it a third chakra issue why you're not down here, or a second chakra issue why you're not down here? Both. So what would be the easiest? Is it damage? Yeah, there's some damage. Yeah, I would say redo chakra repair. I don't know if you did chakra repair with us. I have standalone little short videos on chakra repair. But you could just, you know, like this live stream won't have its little chapters until late tonight when I finally finish them. Yeah. But you can go to any of the more recent, any of the other live streams that are, they already have all the chapters, and there's always a chapter on chakra repair and unblocking towards the start, because it's one of the 5 essentials that we always do at the start. Grounding, aura repair, chakra repair, creative ring repair, and good karma window, basic skull point stuff. So yeah, I would redo chakra repair and keep double checking chakras 3, 2, and 1. Astral third is fine, but astral second and first do have some cracks in them. And then physical body 3, 2, and 1 have some damage. Third, it's more like just cracks, and then second and first is actually like little chips missing in the front left side of physical second and physical first. So chakra damage stuff. So when you have chakra damage, it's just harder for the chakra to release properly. It's harder for you to be present. It's easier for people to cord and invasive beings to cord. So it's just messier, you know. So I would say keep working on chakra repair for lower 3, 2, 1. And then you could post under a video again or in a live stream, you know, can you double check my chakra repair for chakras 3, 2, 1 and see how present I am now? Overall, I mean, you're on your path. You are moving forward on your path, your spiritual path. As far as, you know, we worked today, the spleen meridian and the stomach meridian. You know, interestingly enough, like right towards the start of your spleen meridian, I would say it's a little too constricted. We didn't focus so much on that. We focused on 6 through 13 points, which are shown there on the extremes. But for you, I would say even just spleen 1, 2, and 3. Let me pause that video. So spleen meridian is the purple line, starts in the big toe right there. And so your spleen 1, that point right there, you know, in the corner of the toenail, the big toenail, it's really like, I would say spleen 1 is too blocked. So it's like, it's like trying to suck through a straw that is clogged. You're like, so then we would look at the meridian right before that, which is the stomach meridian. And if we sort of go quickly through it, because, well, yeah, let's just double check. So stomach meridian, those points in the face, let me redo that because I was. So it starts here, stomach meridian, under the eye. That's pretty good for you, I would say. Your jaw points, those are pretty decent. Throat, when it goes to the throat, the stomach meridian right there, I would say that gets really tight, very tight right there. So then the rest of it is a little too tight. So I would say that's nice, you know, if you want to geek out like this and just see where is it good and then where does it become not good. Because then after that, it's all like, you know, there's just not a lot of energy to suck through it. each of these chakras, they generate energy, but they also, you know, so they create energy, but they also just keep it moving, you know? So if there's not enough to keep moving, it just puts too much strain on the whole system, right? So if you look, you're cool, stomach 1, 2, 3, 4 right there, that's fine. And then the jaw points and the stomach meridian, that's fine too, I would say. It's when it comes right there and there. So those neck points for the stomach meridian, which I used to know those. I mean, I tend to forget numbers like that, but you can look it up, what those points are right there. I remember, yeah, I don't remember that. I think 9, 10, 11, 12. Ooh, I just remembered, I think. So I think that's 9 and 10 and 11. So stomach 9 through 11. I would say that's, you can focus on that more. And like your stomach meridian, Wei Chi aura, right in front of there. It's like there's this, it's all ripped up right here. Like each of these meridians has a Wei Chi aura that goes with it. That's Janet stuff. That's not like traditional Chinese. Like if you go to your acupuncturist and go, oh, my stomach meridian Wei Chi aura, they'd be like, eh? What made up stuff are you talking about? I mean, Wei Chi is a traditional Chinese medicine concept. It's your strong boundaries energy, but that each of these main meridians has a Wei Chi aura dedicated to it. That's something the angel showed me. So just so you know, but anyway, yeah. So I would say imagine that one Wei Chi aura that goes all around you that should be golden flowy. That's just to protect and nourish the stomach meridian. And look at especially this area like here, because it's all like sort of black and ripped up right there. So then just ask the angels to recycle any invasive beings in the area and just keep using gold light, melt any hardness so that it all kind of regrows. So then you have your gold mesh spheres again that keep generating gold light, the mesh spheres that wrap all around, and then gold light gets sent here. And then you can do direct healing also on stomach 9, 10, 11 yourself, to repair this, because it's like the meridian's kind of all ripped up and stuff. So in each of those dots, that's a chakra, right? So they're oriented this way and then, that way and then that way, they fit in the meridian, so just repair them, just imagine them and just repair them. Hope that makes sense. So I would say that's so stomach 9 through 12, and then the rest of there may be another log jam that you end up discovering once that's resolved in your stomach meridian, but you may not have another log jam. That may be the only one. And then that could open up your spleen 1, chakra at the toe. So then, but if not, you can just directly unblock that spleen 1. So that then, there's flows well. So I hope that makes sense. And you can post under the video, or you can post now if you want to do some direct healing and see, if you feel different or you want some feedback afterwards. I don't know if I'll have time to read that again, but that was interesting. So I think that would be good to work. Your stomach meridian Wei Chi aura is whole, but it's just really, it has these big plates of energy. So I would say unblocking of your stomach meridian Wei Chi aura, especially in front, would be good. I hope that all makes sense. Might not, but I hope it does. And the 12 meridian playlist, I should probably link that now because I'll link it later, but I don't know if you're going to check later. Oh, okay. I have a link to it. Okay. So let's see. Okay, so I'll have it so it's already pulled up to the stomach meridian video. And then right after that is the spleen meridian video, because in this playlist, it's listed in the order. Oh. So, okay, so this is the 12 meridian playlist. All right. So I put it in the chat. Put the link in the chat, just like a real technical person. Someone says, thanks, Janet. I was super cranky earlier. Oh, and by the way, to that newbie, welcome, welcome. I do 5 of these live streams every month, and the schedule is on my website, jwhealing.com. And you could purchase a set of healings if you wish, for September or October. Those sets are on my website right now for sale. Someone says, thanks, Janet. I was super cranky earlier with a headache. Feeling much better now, assuming I just had a lot of aura and chakra damage. Correct. From multiple people. Correct. 3 different people. How is your spouse doing? And you list his initials with people in his space. Yeah, he's got a bit of an issue right now. It's not any of the people that were healed today, I don't think. Double check the list. But it's not the people that you just recently added to get the healing. No, nobody that I was healing today. One of his work people, not you. Yeah, it seems like 2 different work people. Yeah, so I just had him, I reminded him that he can ask angels for boundaries help, and then that he can, so the angels can kind of hold the people back out of his space temporarily, and then he can work on clearing his baggage that allows them such easy access. Because it's not damage really at this point, because he just got the healing. So he's worked with his angels on it. Yeah, he's moving forward again. He got a little stopped. It seems like he's trying to bring in a lot of new stuff, which is good. So yeah. Hope that is somewhat helpful. Someone says, when we cleared family beings, I saw everything surrounded by a waterfall of gold light, much more than I usually see. There is a stark difference. When I do it myself, I cannot generate so much gold light. I feel great. We touched on everything I needed. Feel more present in my lower back too. Rockstar, good job. Yeah, that's why a lot of people like healing themselves during the live stream. Like when the live stream is live happening. Just because it's, sometimes you just can make more progress that way. It's just a little bit of extra support. But, a lot of people are very advanced that get these healings. So, it's not like, oh, if you're a weakling, you need a healing and then you can heal yourself while you heal. It's just, all sorts of different levels of people get these healings. It's pretty fascinating. But I'm glad it helped you. That was cool. Cool to know. I think maybe if you imagine like a really mini copy of yourself, of your everything, and then so it's smaller than your hands are. And then so you aim your hands throughout the whole it seems like when you're working yourself, you're doing like, okay, I'm going to unblock my shoulder. So then there's like gold light going into one shoulder. you know, or gold light going into just along your spine, you know. So maybe if you just get a copy of your everything, make it smaller than your hands so that, you know, the gold light is just more likely to just be everywhere at once. You know, maybe that's part of the effect you're feeling when you get the healing. So anyway, I'm glad the healings help. And it's cool that you're enjoying the effect. And I'm glad it helped your lower back. I think you had some Wei Qi aura damage in the back there prior to the healing. So made it harder for you to have good flow and safety there. So then the Wei Qi aura damage got repaired. So then it's like you're bringing more of you into this area, which makes it safer, which makes this part of your body feel better, your physical body. You could still do a little more, like your astral body aura has some blocks right there, but you don't really, I guess, have to worry about which aura it is, but just unblock just a little bit more around, you know, behind your hips, behind your butt and your lower back. I was such a kid. I like saying the word butt. Inner 6-year-old, inner 4-year-old. Someone says, thank you. Have been finding this really helpful. Oh, good. Is the spleen and stomach meridian linked to the emotions or expression of sexuality, especially? Sorry if I missed that. You didn't miss it. I didn't say it, which is kind of funny. Like at the end of the stream, I was like, gee, did I even talk about emotions during this live stream? So terrible. But yeah, a lot of this stuff will help emotions and sexuality, but sometimes the links, it's so interrelated, and sometimes I don't spend a lot of time talking about the links. So thank you for bringing it up. That's fine. It's a totally cool question. Um, um, I did look it up, like, oh, is there one chakra that, you know, is most associated with one meridian that's most associated with emotions and all that? And I'm not an expert in traditional Chinese medicine, by the way. I dabble in it, and as a healer, I you know, use it a lot because it's so cool to work. But anyway, long story short, each meridian, there are various meridians that have an emotion related to them. So like one meridian might be related to like issues with anger. One meridian might be related to issues with sadness, you know, blah, 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 you know. But I think there was one meridian. I don't know if it was the spleen meridian or not. I think it might not. I think it was just the angels were like, these are the points you need to focus on. Spleen meridian, these points, period. You know, because sometimes the angels will point something out that to them is obvious, but maybe it's not directly Chinese medicine. It's not directly chakra stuff. It's just, they're like, shut up and do it. So I do it. And it works. So we do it. But if I, like, you just Google, like, okay, like what meridian, I think there is one or two that most regulate the emotions, even though like so many of them have like a meridian, yeah, it was like the heart meridian, pericardium meridian, liver, kidney, and spleen. So spleen is one of the ones listed. It says linked to worry and overthinking. The spleen meridian plays a vital role in digestion and transforming food into qi and blood. Excessive worry can weaken spleen qi, potentially leading to digestive issues, fatigue, and difficulty concentrating. So yeah, heart, pericardium, liver, kidney, spleen. So it says heart and pericardium are particularly emphasized in traditional Chinese medicine as the primary centers for emotional well-being and managing the spectrum of feelings, which I had read as I was preparing, but the angel was like, shut up, do spleen. So I'm like, okay, we're doing the spleen meridian. And I could see that spleen 6 through spleen 13 were especially needed for people. So just reading the, 138 people that I'm working on. So sometimes it's not like I can't find, direct validation for it within chakra work, or it's just an intuitive thing that the angels are like, do it. So I do it. But if I look at the specific points though, on the spleen meridian, like the 6 through 13 that we were doing, I think there is, I happen to have that up. Like spleen 6, that like lowest point that we did use. Am I showing it on the screen? I think I am. Yeah, I am. Okay, good. Because I'm looking at something else right now. It says spleen 6 together with heart 7 and pericardium 6 calms the heart and emotions and soothes the mind. So, I mean, I think if we studied all the points that we did within the spleen meridian, there'd be plenty that would help emotions in different ways, like the specific points. Because it's not just like one meridian does this and one meridian does this. It's like each point interacts with 3 other points and helps this. It's very complex. So I just do what the angels tell me to do. Long story short. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, there was, when I was looking at the background of spleen 6 through 13, I was like, damn. Like edema for spleen 9, that point helps with edema. But anyway, hope that makes sense. But you can always Google, like, what does this point help? But like, okay, so spleen 10, which is, in that range of ones that we particularly emphasize, it says spleen 10 together with spleen 6 and pericardium 6 dispels wind damp, relieves irritability, and eases the mind. So again, like that's, in my book, definitely emotions, So anyway, it's all cool stuff. I love this stuff. But anyway, yeah, sometimes it's like the angels will tell me. I mean, because you can look at your own meridian and be like, like I did for the newbie. And I was like, whoa, there's a big train wreck, in those 3 points. And then you work those, and then the whole river kind of eases up and gets better. And then so that makes the next river better. And you know what I mean? So hope that makes sense. Sexuality, I don't know that spleen and stomach directly relate to sexuality, actually, but it was just an intuitive thing that we needed to do it right now. I think it probably links more to emotions than sexuality, although I would suspect spleen 12 and 13 might, it's like if there's so many though, it's like there's a ton of functions for that stuff. So some of it could be like sexual hormones and stuff, and I'm just not noticing. But whatever, sorry. But you could Google like what meridians help with sexuality, or what points help with sexuality the most, if you wanted. Someone says financial improvement equals, they're elaborating on what they had said. Financial improvement equals getting out of debt. I have spending issues. Oh, that tells me I've been doing this for a half hour. I have spending issues that I've had my whole life. I always seem to be in debt. Okay, well, that's the American way. You can definitely put more detail in the survey. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, I mean, I'm half joking, half not joking about the American way. I mean, you know, when you think about it, if someone has a mortgage, I suppose you don't have a mortgage because you're talking about always being in debt, like you want to get out of debt. If you have a mortgage, it's like quite a long-term debt. Although, fun fact, if you have a mortgage and you aggressively pay, if you can make extra payments that are principal only payments in between your regular payments, make principal only payments, and that shortens how long it's going to take, like, massively. Because they kind of rig it. Even a good, like, you know, even an ethical bank, like a credit union bank, you know, it's still kind of rigged so that each time you're paying a lot of the interest and some of the principal. So with each monthly payment. So if you then make a payment in between each time, you still have to do your regular ones on time. But then if you do an in between one, you can specify that it's principal only to, like, hack away more and more of that principal each time. And then that it can cut the time it takes you to pay off your loan by, like, more than half. I mean, it's like really drastic. It's pretty exciting. But if you're just talking about spending late at night or something, yeah, maybe, yeah, get a little more detail on that. Would help me to look. Like if you're talking about credit cards or what you're talking about. And yeah. Headache is now mostly gone. I think there's a stubborn rip on 1 meridian and 3 Wei Chi auras are damaged still. Yeah, and I think, did you say it was a certain side? Mild headache on left side. If we look at this, shows the right side, but if we imagine it's the left side. Yeah, that gallbladder meridian's a little ripped up. You know, like not where it goes over the ear, but in the gallbladder meridian for people, it's one of the ones that I'll play it. So gallbladder meridian, it's like a green-blue line, starts in the corner of the eye, goes up, goes on the hairline, goes around the ear. So yours, it's fine right there at gallbladder 1 at the corner of the eye. It's fine there by the ear. The hairline ones are pretty fine. But then it gets real tight as it goes around the ear, as it loops around the ear like that. That's too tight right there. All that stuff, like, so towards those hairline points, those 4 points that go along the hairline, which I really like those points. I'll show you where. So you're fine there. Gallbladder 1, gallbladder 2, gallbladder 3 is fine. 4, 5, 6, 7. So that whole hairline thing. 4, 5 are fine. 6 and 7 get like really tight. So then it's all tight after that. So I don't know if that's where you feel the pain, but if I'm looking at the gallbladder meridian, that's where it starts to get really constricted. Gallbladder, what was that? 5, 6, 7? 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gallbladder 6 and 7. And then after that, where it loops around the ear, it's tight. And then when there's not a lot of life force flowing through it, it's easy for it to get torn up. Easier for it to get torn up. So then then it starts to get torn up right there. A little torn up there. A little torn up, very torn up. A little torn up, really tight. It's okay after that. So it's just low on energy here because of earlier. So I would say focus more on gallbladder meridian, and then that Wei Chi aura is wildly ripped the sides. Like someone who went your head. Smacked you upside the head. It looked like both sides at once. It's just one side went deeper. So, hope that helps. It was not your mother. Fun fact. Or your sister. This just in, shocking news. It was not your mother or your sister. Who was it? I guess it doesn't really matter. Seems like work related. Someone doesn't want you to move and leave your job. But not the usual suspects. Not the family suspects, at least. All right. Hope that helps. Blah, blah, blah. Someone says, oh, yeah, the newbie says, thank you so much, Janet. You're welcome. I'm inspired and will review this as well so I can actually implement it. I've been moving while watching the live stream, so I hope to be more present. Appreciate any healing. Well, cool. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, I didn't actually heal you because you're not one of the people. I mean, not that like I'm like, oh, you have to pay for me to heal you, although you do. But it's just that, you know, I have to prepare to heal somebody because you could have, you know, energy that kind of comes with you. And I would get nailed if I just on the fly healed you. So I didn't heal you. I read your energy and told you where you can heal. But I didn't heal you. I mean, just to be clear, which you probably knew, but just to be clear. Sometimes I do little healing in these chat sections, but it's for somebody that is on my healing list and I had prepared to heal them and I already just healed them. And probably for most of these people, I heal them 5 times every month. So they're pretty cleaned out. So I'm not going to get like sideswiped by a bunch of, you know, associated energy if I try to heal that person for like a second in the chat. But if I've never healed someone, I'm definitely not going to on the fly just because there's a lot of energy that people might have. Like, for example, I'll take the most innocuous, harmless example. Like you could have a grandfather in heaven who doesn't understand who I am. Most people in heaven would understand who I am, but sometimes you can get a relative in heaven who has very protective instincts, who doesn't understand who I am or what's going on and that you have consent and I'm using gold light and I'm working with angels. And they'll just like come at me if I'm trying to work with you, you know, trying to heal you. So, you know, that kind of thing gets all worked out. If I prepare to heal somebody, then, you know, everybody who's feels protective towards you, they get to check me out and realize who I am and talk to the angels about me. And then if there's any invasive beings that are trying to just, you know, keep you down, you know, they get the ones that would come at me get recycled in advance. So that's why it's real specific that I was not healing you. But anyway, I'd be totally open to healing you if you wanted to purchase a set in advance on my website. That way I could prep and be all proper. But yeah, I'm glad this stuff made sense. And you're welcome to hop on to any live stream you want. Do 5 every month. The next one is, the final one this month is this Sunday. Someone says, thank you, Janet, for your help. Janet, you're welcome. You're welcome. Welcome. Someone says, thank you. You're welcome. That same person from before says, usually in TCM and Taoist meditation, the emotions are generated from the organs. Thank you. And can also be stored there. Each organ, and for people who don't know, organ is not necessarily like literal. Like in Western medicine, you would say the organ and you mean like the physical heart, you know, or the physical lungs. Whereas in traditional Chinese medicine, organ is more like the energy system. So, and it's not always like, it might include the literal physical organ that the word implies, but it might, you know, it's slightly different. But I'm not an expert clearly on traditional Chinese medicine. So anyway, I'm always welcome to people chiming in on that stuff. Anyway, so generated from the organ and can also be stored there. Each organ has a positive and negative emotion. An extension of the organs are also meridians. Well, thank you for the information. Appreciate it. The person from before said that makes sense. Spleen was really helpful for me based on what you said. Cool. Someone says, I've really been working gallbladder, Wei Chi, aura a lot. So this doesn't surprise me. I think it's, oh, you're mentioning work colleagues and their initials. Yeah, I think you're right. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, there's something odd between you and them. Those people you mentioned, their initials, your coworkers. It's like, I think they've dumped something in your space. And then it's like you're trying to move forward, but you have whatever this is from them. It's like it looks like a bundle, like like if you wrapped up some white sheets really tightly and you're carrying it in your arms, like around your elbows, and you're just carrying it forward. And it allows them to like kind of steer you. So just, yeah, try to just scoop out anything from them and give it to the angels. I don't know why they did that. Maybe you guys all work on a certain project or something. I mean, sometimes, when a person leaves work, then other people are greatly impacted. That could be their rationale subconsciously for trying to put a little steering wheel in your aura. Make you into a driver's ed car that they can drive. But yeah, I think if you scoop out anything from them and give it to the angels, that could help your boundaries with them. Someone says, thank you, Janet. It feels really empowering when you remind us we are big boy, big girls, and we can clear this out. Oh, good. I'm glad it helps. Sometimes it depends how people receive what I'm saying, It's like sometimes it just hits people's resistance wrong, and then they're like, oh my God, she's rude and obnoxious. So I try not to be rude and obnoxious. I try to, be inspiring, but it's not always easy. Yeah, I'm not always successful, let's put it that way. So it's nice to know that sometimes it works. Sometimes it works. Happy, joy, joy. All right. Well, oh, I could do a garden update. Ta-da. So as we wrap up the stream, I will do a garden update. I don't know if I'll have anything to say about the pets, so I'll put that in parentheses. But gardening, oh boy. So, well, we're in for a couple hot days, a whole bunch of hot days, actually, unfortunately, which is not the greatest for the garden because I have a lot of perennials I still want to get in the ground, and plants don't like being transplanted into the ground when it's like 1,000,000,000 degrees out. And also, me as a human being, I don't like being out in the garden when it's 1,000,000,000 degrees out. So there's that. So that's coming up. So I'll have to be a little creative on, usually there's like this little couple hour window, once the garden goes into shade right before it's totally dark out. I can garden. But then you got to protect, if you transplanted something, you have to protect it the next day from the bulk of the sun if it's, too hot. Too hot. So whatever, I'll figure that out. But I did make a run to the garden store and got a whole bunch of bags of compost. Usually I like to make my own compost, but I definitely don't have enough now. And I need to improve a bunch of the soil in different areas as I'm transplanting stuff in, because I'm planting like new garden beds, that used to be just weeds. So a lot of that soil is not really in great condition. So like I have to weed and improve the soil first, and that takes longer than actually putting the plants in the ground. That part's easier. But then after the plants are in the ground, I need to wood chip them because these are perennial beds. So it's not like I'll be digging in there a couple times every year. It's just like the point is to just keep things from evaporating, keep the water from evaporating, and keep the weeds from growing, especially in the spring. Because everything grows, most things grow really well here in the Pacific Northwest. Like, well, not every single plant, but plants in general grow really well here in the Pacific Northwest. So it's like every spring, it's like you could just be like completely enveloped with weeds if you didn't have like a lot of like wood chips down or whatever, some kind of cover. Mulch, a thick layer of mulched leaves or thick layer of wood chips or something. So anyway, I ran out of wood chips for months now, and I've been like digging where the wood chip pile used to be just to get like little leftovers and stuff. But this morning I got a load of wood chips finally. I'm so excited. It's like I can see it right out my window. It's so big. It's so exciting. It's free. It's from this website called getchipdrop.com in the US, and you can put like a donation in it so that the arborist that comes by and dumps the load of wood chips, they're arborist wood chips, so they're not like beauty bark or something that's died or whatever. It's just like, whatever ground up stuff that they took off somebody's property. So they had to, cut down some trees and they ground them all up, and so they have this truck full of wood chips now, arborist wood chips, right? Which is some leaves, cut up leaves mixed up with the cut up tree trunks and whatever. And so anyway, I've been waiting to get the chips because it's free, but you can't control when you're going to get it. So I had this, photo with this image, exactly where they should put it and everything in case I wasn't home when they were going to do it. And I had tried to always keep that area, unobstructed so they could, drive back right in and dump the load even if I wasn't home, And but sure enough, I was prepping, of course, for this live stream, like still like, brainstorming and figuring out stuff. And I see this arborist truck stopped in front of our driveway and like sort of looking at our yard. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's happening. I went out there, I was so excited. Oh my gosh. And he did a pretty good job. He got a little bit on the driveway, but mostly it was right in the spot I wanted. I'm thrilled because now I can finally chip. I have all these garden beds that I've been planting that aren't mulched, which is bad because then weeds can come back and the soil dries out too fast, and it's not good. So I have many uses for those chips now. many uses, because even the regular part of the garden that I didn't replant, like all the pathways and stuff, they need more chips, because that's the thing, like it takes a couple years if the layer is thick enough, but it all does break down, and then you have a big weed problem on your hands if it's too broken down, that there's not enough mulch blocking the soil, so covering the soil. So anyway, but fortunately now I'm stronger. I mean, I still need to get even stronger, but I'm stronger than I have been, like say a year ago or 2 years ago. So I don't think it'll be as hard for me to move the chips around and dump them where I need them. We'll see. The alternative is paying somebody, but I haven't found somebody who can do it for what I want to pay. I mean, I would pay a fair wage, but I've only like got this one guy who like gave me this, I guess he thought I was rich or something. He gave me this insanely large quote on what it would cost for him to spread the wood chips all around. So we'll see. But anyway, I got the wood chips finally. Kind of funny to be that excited about a big pile of wood chips, but I'm thrilled. Ooh, so nice. That's kind of fun. Definitely a plant geek kind of thing. Oh, and I put up speaking of plant geek kind of things, I put up a new 3-minute video in that channel that I have that's it's a YouTube channel, but it's for, like non-energy healing stuff. I mean, I may mention energy in it, but it's for everything else in my life that I feel like sharing publicly. So gardening stuff, pet stuff, that kind of thing. So that channel is called It has a funny name, Janet's Pineapple Time. So that is the YouTube channel name. And the video that I just put up is very plant geeky. It's for like people that grow their own starts from seed, grow their own plants from seed, you know, up till they're big enough to put outside in the garden. They're like different pot designs and which pot design I feel is the best one that I found so far, so that your starts, the plants that you finally have big enough to transplant in the ground, are as healthy as possible and have the best roots. So it's very geeky, plant geeky stuff, but it's 3 minutes if you want to watch it. That's up on that channel. There are other videos on that channel, like there's some pet related ones, but there's a lot of gardening stuff on that one, but pet stuff too. At some point we'll just Lorenzo and I keep meaning to do ones where we just talk about life in general, or talk about, you know, like maybe, I don't think he wants to do it, but sometimes I think I would want to, you know, like all the mistakes I've learned from in my dating life, you know. I made so many mistakes in my dating life in the past. And so that could be interesting. And be like, okay, well, you know, because I know some of my clients are a lot younger than I am. I mean, I'm 55, you know, but, you know, maybe some people, either they haven't dated around quite as much as I have in my life, or whatever, you know, maybe they're just really young, and so they maybe could learn from my mistakes. Who knows? But I haven't made that video. But if you subscribe to that channel, that way you'll know if I do make it at some point. But anyway, so pet news. I don't think I have much to say. Boo Boo Kitty was up there like momentarily during like grounding and or repair or something. You saw little parts of her body. She's cute. There's no big breakthrough with her, but she's healthy and happy pretty much. She's you know, she still won't let us pet her and stuff, but she's better about showing herself during the day, and you know, she's super cute. Oh, her favorite toy is this it's a stuffed banana filled with catnip. Like it's this thing, it looks like a banana, yellow fabric banana, and it's filled with catnip. And we have a couple of them, but she like just destroys them. She loves playing with them. We have other shapes that are filled with catnip, but she doesn't like those as much. It has to be the banana shape. Like that banana shape for some reason does something for her. So so it's funny because my husband, I mean, I'm biased, of course, but I think my husband's pretty funny. And so he'll say it's like the banana murder scene, because she'll like destroy the banana, and you know, there's catnip all over the place, and you have this like deflated looking yellow fabric banana thing. And so I guess, you know, she'll play with it mostly when he's already gone to bed. And so he'll come back into his study and find the banana murder scene every day. This is kind of funny. He was thinking that maybe we should get her a fountain for her water. I don't know. I mean, she might drink water fine without it. But I was wondering if anyone has a really healthy cat fountain that they use. But I think too, you got to make sure the water's clean, you know, because it's like if it's just, you'd have to clean out your fountain. Yeah, so that's kind of a concern for me. Like I don't want like weird moldy water in the cat fountain. You know, so because that we have a little cup that we put out for her of water, and that's easy. You know, you just put it in the dishwasher and put a new cup out with new water. But if anyone has good experiences with like a hygienic cat fountain that works well, you can let me know if you want to email me. And our dog, Izzy, is sleeping right next to me. I can show you him. Not much new with him. Oh, we put him on antacids, omeprazole. We had them from a previous dog, and so we put him on him because he kept like spitting up, and then he would vomit sometimes too, and it just seemed like his stomach wasn't feeling good. So we added that to, because he's on these epilepsy meds that he has to be on every 8 hours, and so that could have a whole bunch of different side effects. One of them could be, you know, too much acid in the stomach. So we don't like, you know, adding on meds, you know, for no reason, but, you know, we did that and seems to be working well so far. So, but anyway, so I'll end just by showing him a little camera shot of him sleeping. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So there he is, sleeping away. Pretty cute. He's kind of he's gotten, his hair's gotten a lot more gray and white over the years. When we got him, he was 2.5. And that was, I want to say, in 2016, 2017. That was 8 years ago. So maybe he's 10.5 now, maybe. So he's cute. All right. So that's it. You guys are amazing. So that's my website address and my email address if you need either of them. And if you want to purchase a set of healings, you are more than welcome to do that on my website. And right now, September and October sets are up. And I could tell you the themes. If I was a person that had good memory, I could just tell them to you out of my memory, but I'm not. That's not one of my skills. Memory is not my thing. I have to look it up. I know I like the themes. Okay, so September themes for both sets is gentle realizations, inner truths, unlocking your subconscious wisdom in a stable, positive way. I dig that. Gentle realizations, inner truths, unlocking your subconscious wisdom in a stable, positive way. That's nice. It's like sometimes you're supposed to figure out something about your life, but you're just like, ma, I don't want to know. Actually, somebody mentioned that in their question. It's one of those themes though where you might not realize you need it, you know? Like if you are just feeling restless or bored or directionless or aimless, you might need it. It's like, because it's like if there's something you're supposed to realize, but part of you is like trying not to realize it, it will give you this sense of boredom or a sense of like, you know, you don't know what you want. I mean, I think there's sometimes when you genuinely don't know what you want, and so that this theme would help with that too. But I think sometimes you subconsciously, you're so busy repressing something that you don't want to know that would help you to know. That force of like shoving down is creating kind of a void where you don't want anything and you don't know what you want, and you just, it's like, you know, not fun. So anyway, it should be cool. Basically, like, part of it would be working subconscious and conscious mind and the barrier in between them, and just healing that barrier so that you're only keeping in your subconscious what is healthy to keep in your subconscious, and what's healthy to realize, you're realizing, you know, gradually, gently. So that's the basic gist of that. And then October just went up a few days ago. Well, 6 days ago. Time flies. And that theme is your body, food, fitness, face, etc. I love that one. So your physical body, food, including food, fitness, face, etc. So food choices, beverage choices, your discipline around all that, your ability to use your intuition to, you know, intuit what is good for your unique body needs and your energy needs and your sleep and all that. You know, hydration, all sorts of stuff. And then your fitness, you know, exercise, stretching, you know, health decisions, health goals, all sorts of coolness. Self-care regarding fitness. Face is really cool. Face, like literally your face. You know how like they say like, oh, the eyes are the window to the soul, and you know, and you can tell a lot from somebody's face. And sometimes you can look at your own face and you're like, oh, it doesn't seem like it's my energy. There's like a weird energy there. You know, and so you can clear, I mean, you can clear the face meridians. I mean, meridians that are literally existing on your face. Which is fun and cool. And we'll probably work in some eye healing with that too, you know, because the meridians around the eyes are also the meridians in the face. So, you know, we may as well throw the optic nerve healing while we're at it. But in front of the face, you know, because you can get a lot of energy build up in front of the face. You know, either your own self-conscious moments putting things in front of your face, or other people putting things in front of your face, either because they're trying to show you something or they're trying to have you not see something. There's all sorts of cool, I mean, not, there's all sorts of interesting ways that and reasons, but you know, you don't have to intellectualize over it all. We'll just be unblocking, you know, your face. But it also, you know, it's like very metaphorical for your interaction with other people and what you want them to see, what you don't want them to see, and you know, and how they react to you and what they can see of you, you know. So pretty interesting stuff. So thank God we're going to have a whole month to do that theme. There's so much that we could do. So cool. All right. So anyway, enough blah, blah, blah. You guys are amazing. I hope you have a good afternoon, evening, whatever's next for you, morning. And the next live stream, the final one for this month, will be in 3 days on Sunday. And if I healed you, please, I will be emailing you a link to a post-healing survey. And so please take a minute in the next 2 days, not today, but on Friday or Saturday to, you know, fill out some or all of the questions so that I can reflect upon your feedback as I design the Sunday healing. Okay, everybody. Let's do some butterflies. We wrap up. I can never find my butterflies when I want them. Here we go. My butterflies. There we go. Bye, everybody. See, I look like a Disney princess now. Okay, bye, everybody. You're so amazing. Take care. Good for you for thinking about and/or doing energy healing. You're a rock star. Bye.